Are you ready? Can Crushers. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers. Let's go.
Hey there, this is Kaya McKenna, the conduit of karma, and you're listening to the Can Crushers podcast.
It's that kind of show. Welcome to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast with the big cat himself, Sir Michael Jenks, and myself, Mark the Mark.
Oh,
I don't know. I really don't know where that came from. I said I'm in that type of mood, so. And I'm knocking off the rest of the Southern Tiers Mango Rays right now.
Oh, very
Look
nice.
the fuck out.
I'm having a coffee wine that my sister got me from one of the at a wine fest that was up here many months ago. I can't remember what it was. I think it's called Jaded or Java Jaded, something like that. I'm gonna have to go look at it when I get there. It's a tiny ass bottle. It is only like maybe I would say 12 to 15 ounces. It's not. It's like a normal bottle.
I've never seen a 50. I'll be okay with the 12 ounce. I've never seen a 15 ounce bottle in my life.
I'll go. Well, you've seen water bottles.
They're 16.9.
Okay, close enough. I was in the ballpark, so I don't know what size it is. I'll go look during the break.
You don't have to.
You know what? Hey, that's the least of my worries right now, so that's fine.
So how is it? It looks delicious. It looks, as he's going to tell us how, it looks caramely, creamy. Like it looks.
It's very aromated. That's not even a word, but
aromatic.
Yeah, it's aromatic. Yeah. No, it's very good. It's smooth. It's heavier in the coffee flavor, but it's not overpowering, if that makes sense. So it's got a little bit smooth. You can taste a little bit of the wine. It doesn't leave like a coffee aftertaste in your mouth. You just get the taste of coffee just enough to kind of make it work. And honestly, it has a very caramel in color, like Mark was saying, and it has a very distinct coffee smell to it. Like the bean hits you as soon as you smell it. That's like the only thing you smell. I'm
super jealous of that. Like I think I'm not a huge like wine guy, but I think that would. And I'll have a wine here and there. We don't have. I lie. I digress. We do have one bottle of wine in the house. The rest is liquor and beer, straight to it. But I think I wouldn't mind having that in the house. Like, just as a nipper here and there, right before work. I mean... Yeah.
It's a nice pick-me-up. That's why I'm having it right now. No, I'm just kidding. But it's really good. It's not overpowering or anything. I'm not a wine guy myself. There was one time I went to this wine fest that was up here, got a little wasted and bought way too many bottles of wine that I've slowly tried to get through.
Been there.
But honestly, I can only drink it if it's sweet. I can't have the dry desert shit.
Mouth.
Yeah, I feel like you're just dying of thirst and shit. No, that's not me. As I say that, as I drink IPAs all the time too, by the way.
But they're different.
They are different. They actually taste like they have water in them besides choking you to death from dust. But this I'm very much a wine connoisseur over here. Sommelier. It's a sommelier. I'm very much a wine sommelier over here. But
you and Reginald.
Yeah, me and Reginald. He's got more experience than I do. And flips. Yeah. I mean, I can't flip, so.
He's legit drinking it out of a wine glass, too. Like
I am, too. Well, I don't get to use them that often. And I want to point out, the wine glass is actually the free wine glass I get when I attend these wine fests. So
That's the only wine glasses we have, too.
Yeah, I know. It's the matching set. So I have 4 of these glasses that all match. So why wouldn't I drink out of them?
So you can only have a wine party of 4. Like, it would be me, you, Kimberly, and Kelly. That's exactly. It. Anybody else coming over?
If somebody else comes over, maybe they can have a rocks glass or a regular glass, I guess. But, yeah. Oh, you know what? I think I do have plastic...
Solo cups?
Wine glasses? No, wine glasses. They're actually wine glasses, but yeah, hey, it might have solo cups too, so it'll work.
I know we have a couple, but again, I'm just uncouth. If I'm having wine, I'm gonna still pour it in a tumbler. I don't have a little bit of everything. You should know this by now.
Yeah.
Like, I have 2 beers in front of me right now for segment 1. They will be gone in segment 1.
You know what I avoided doing? Because this bottle is literally could just sit here and I could drink out of it. It wouldn't look like I'm a slosh. I almost brought the bottle, but I'm sitting here like, no, I'll have it done by segment 1. We're not introducing this, but let's drag this out. But I'm not going to sit here and chug it in segment 1 because I know that's what would happen. It would happen, 100%.
It's funny how, listen, I had shit to talk about. It's going to be leaving my head all of a sudden because of this guy, the Big Cat.
It's always.
Yeah, Sir Big Cat.
Yeah, Sir Big Cat.
What would, I don't remember.
Bailey agrees. Although she might be upset there's a cat in the house. I don't know.
That's what it is. Mm-hmm. We get these bottles from our family and everything, and do normal people, not me and you, like crack them right off the bat to taste them and have them? I still have a bottle of rum from, I don't know when the fuck they went on their cruise. I think it's probably a year now that I have not.
I don't know if normal people do, because I'm going to be on, like, I can't consider my family normal, but a lot of my family does not crack that stuff. Or if they do, they have a sip and then it just sits because they're just like, okay, well, I had it and now I just have it sit wherever. Normal people, I mean, there's people that have wine fucking basement space, or they're wine cellars, and they keep bottles that they don't even open. They just buy them. So I can't imagine normal people just sit there and crack it unless they're just having a really shitty week and they just need to fucking down a bottle of liquor. I mean, maybe that's the case, and more power to them.
Smart idea. I don't know.
If they need it. I mean, I can't blame them.
You have something getting set up, celebrating for number 500. By the way, this is 486. 14 away from 500.
I swear last week was 486. You sure about that?
Hot. I checked it out on Padurama right before we started recording because, listen, I forgot what it was already. So our homeboys over at Padurama have a setup that just do the count for us, which is awesome.
That's fantastic.
I do have something set up for number 500. It's that other bottle of rum. Like, I had the Copacabana or whatever, the one, the black caramel one. But she brought me another one, which is in like a weird shaped bottle. I'm going to save that for 500 and get really snookered up. And then you have
I have the whiskey bottle that's sitting here by the desk, ready to be cracked.
Aiding you.
Yeah. Drink me.
So that's that. How was your week, buddy?
Oh, it was fan-fucking-tastic, let me tell you. No, it was a good week. I don't know, I had a couple days where I was just mentally tapped. I was just done with the week. I don't know what it was.
That started Wednesday for me.
That's exactly when it started for me, because it went into Thursday, and I'm like, man, I'm fucking done. But, you know, it was what it was. Work's fine, just same shit, different week kind of thing, and moving forward. A lot of happenstance, a lot of things going on that, you know, not ready to release it yet, but it's happening. It's life-changing in some aspects of it. So, and that's kind of where I'm at. Huh?
That's on the back of your mind all the time.
It's always on the back of my mind, or daily when I get things said. What about this? What about that? What do you think about this? Da-da-da-da. So it's there. It's always there. It's a good thing, but, you know, we take it baby step by baby step. So my week, can't really say too much about it because it was pretty much uneventful outside of just normal Normal shit. Same shit, different week. What about you?
Same. I don't want to echo you, but legit the same thing. Had 2 days of longer work days because of its vacation season. So, not toot, but now I'm beating myself. Sometimes when you have too many licenses and qualifications, you're the idiot then.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of mandated because you have the licenses and qualifications of doing things. So I pulled a couple 12s, and then that's when Wednesday hit, and I was like, oh, what am I doing? Still pounding away at looking at stuff, baseball, this, that, and the other. Did you know, not change it real quick, the softball Little League World Series started. So that has engulfed me since 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Oh, did it already start? I didn't realize it was going to start right now.
Not the baseball. They're actually showing the softball now.
Did they really?
ESPN, which about fucking time. Listen, we're advocates all the time of women need more, all of that. They're finally putting the young gals on TV now, too. And right now it's California, North California against South California, actually. So,
California.
Yeah. It's California against California. So I've been watching that. You guys know, whatever. Pennsylvania and New York's on at 7 o'clock tonight. Probably watch some of that. Staying up till the ass crack of dawn because the soccer only starts at 9 o'clock at night.
Yep.
Over at 11:30. The United States is 1-0-1. The Netherlands game was unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Roll into this week. Tuesday I have to wake up at 3, an hour before I normally wake up. But I've already told the guys, I'm like, and get ready, because if anybody on the borough council or anybody, I will probably be late Tuesday. They're like, why? I'm like, I will not leave until the soccer game is in hand or over. They roughly last about 2 hours. I'm supposed to be to work at 5 o'clock. I don't want to drive and watch it on my phone because that's illegal, folks.
Yeah.
Plus, people are going to say, just take off. I have Wednesday off already because the Tigers are in town and not in Ridgeway. They're in Pittsburgh. So I'm going to work Tuesday, bailing early, going to Pittsburgh to watch the shit show of Pittsburgh and Detroit play baseball, stay overnight at Kelly's brother's house. The whole family's going, by the way. And then going back Wednesday for the 12:30 game. Probably be disappointed both times, but this will probably be the last time I see Miggy. So, plus I want to see what Pittsburgh gives him. Yeah. He's been on the world tour getting cowboy hats and boots and everything. I want to see what Pittsburgh gives them. Plus, they're really good seats. I got them from the radio station.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. They're the all-you-can-eat, this, that, and the other, walking through the underground tunnel. The guy that owns the radio station owns a portion of the Pirates as well. So.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's fair my payment. And then I told him I'm officially not doing football this year. After I had tickets in hand. Thank you very much. I'm not doing football this year. What? I'm like, not happening. I'm all right with that.
You knew this was coming. I don't know.
They kind of knew, but they were still kind of hinting. We're getting ready to do the schedule, this, that, and I'm like, I'll be back for basketball.
Yeah. See you in November. December, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm all right with it. I am okay with it. I have a lot of video games to catch up on. Not really. I've been playing those too a lot this week. I've been doing the multi-screens and everything. When Thursday, essentially when I hit rock bottom, that's what I did. 1 o'clock until I didn't even shower until late. I only come home 1 o'clock, 1:05. I'm in the shower. Came in, got in the Barca Lounger, video games, had to decompress, this, that, and the other. Boom. 9:30. Going to take a shower, smelling like a fucking dump. Yep.
My Thursday, I was going to just play video games, not even fucking think of the world. My sister's like, hey, you want to come out? We're going to see a band and whatnot. I'm like, you know what? I need dinner anyways. I might as well just go out. And it was from 6 to 8. It was only
Oh,
It was an early band. So I was like, hey, you know, whatever, go out and just have some fun. That was kind of my way of decompressing, but at the same time, I kind of regret it right now because I'm like, oh man, I really want to play. I just wanted to play AEW and football and just kick back and relax, but hey, it is what it is.
Football.
I've been playing Madden a lot lately. It's that time of year. The itch has been here. I gotta build the Jacksonville Jaguars back to my foundation where I'm Super Bowl runs here. I gotta keep going here. So, you know, it is what it is.
You're a Tampa fan.
I am a Tampa fan. Here's the weirdest fucking thing. I don't play Tampa Bay right away in franchise mode or anything. I'll play him in exhibition in that, but I don't play it in franchise. It's a weird thing. I'm like, whatever. So I kind of just blow it up. I do fantasy drafts a lot, and I just do the fantasy draft. Let me draft a new team from this one particular one. Jacksonville's the only one I've really enjoyed so far doing that too. So I've kind of just built up the Jaguars to be a dynasty. So with Tua, by the way, team's running on Tua. Also, Justin Jefferson and Travis Kelce help a little bit, but you know, whatever.
Maybe next year at this time you'll have all 5-star recruits on your NCAA.
I'm praying to God. That also requires me to get a PS5 first, so I got to get that too. I got to upgrade the systems.
You do.
Yeah.
You do, because we need to play each other. We need to play like Northern Iowa against San Diego State.
Yeah, Northern Iowa, Western Kentucky.
Yes.
Yeah. Hilltoppers versus, what is it, the Panthers, Golden Panthers?
I think it's
Northern Iowa, yeah.
People are like, here we go. We're done. We're
going down. We're going down. Nope. Yeah. We'll keep out of there.
Yeah, we'll keep out of there. We're going to get to wrestling. Hot topics. And I'm going to start.
Let's do it.
Because we're not going to start with hot topics on wrestling.
Uh-oh.
We are going down the rabbit hole.
Oh, boy. What are we going down?
Please tell me you saw Senator Rushman or Hushman or Hodgosh or whoever it is under oath officially say, we have an alien and we have his shit. Essentially, go watch what he really said. But the government has officially said, yep, there's aliens and we got one.
Yeah, we have the biometrics or the bioergonomics or some shit like that, just basically saying we have a body or something of an alien. And then they had 2 former Navy pilots, I think it were, who said they had one mission where they saw it but were called away. Then I can't remember what the other guy said, but I did see that. But I also find it highly hilarious that it hasn't really gained traction in a lot of places.
None.
Because this is like literally right now in the bingo card of 2023, the least important fucking thing happening anywhere. And you asked me this 6 years ago, people would have been maybe 10 years ago, people would have been losing their shit like, oh my God, we have aliens. Good God Almighty, about time. 2016 to now,
people are like, good.
We
have aliens.
The amount of comments I read, like, good, they can fucking take me right now, is astronomical, but accurate to some degree for some people. I mean, this is just the amount of shit we've had.
So now that this is the question that's been on my mind all day, and I couldn't wait to ask you. Now that we officially have aliens, people are really losing track now, by the way. But wait, hang on, please. What do you think that they're thinking? Let me give you a synopsis. Are all aliens like Alien versus Predator? Or are most of them like Elf? Are they looking down on us, or wherever they are, going, wow, the human world is fucking stupid. We are not anything like Alien versus Predator. We're all from Melmac.
Yeah. I honestly think there's aliens of all ranges where they're going to be fuck you up, but a lot of them are probably sitting there like, what the fuck is happening down there? Like,
right.
Even looking at, they're probably like, the cesspool over here in the West called the United States is just,
right.
What the fuck is that?
Why haven't they had another Civil War yet?
And then they're looking at Russia and Ukraine and all that shit. Like, what the fuck is going on over there just for a territory fight? I mean, it seems like it's just honestly, I feel like right now the world is like the Real Housewives of the universe. It's just fucking drama, and we're
with
reality.
United States being the trashy.
Actually, yeah, we're like fucking New Jersey in this whole fucking thing. Real Housewives of New Jersey type shit. Like, you're like, what the fuck is happening here? I feel like we're reality TV at this point. Somebody's pulling a string somewhere and saying, okay, we need to cause this fucking shit to just happen. And then we'll go off of that. Like, that's been my whole thing is we are strictly entertainment purposes.
For them.
Look at this fucking thing going on over here. This makes us feel so much better about our lives at this point.
What country can we vote off this week?
Yeah.
No, don't get rid of the United States yet. They're the comic. Please don't get rid of them.
Leave them in. Leave them in. What's
You have poor like Guam not doing anything. Get rid of them. They're not doing anything. Keep the shithole United States and you're good to go.
Keep that going. We caused a little bit of roughage in London when we got rid of the Queen. We'll pull that together. We'll let that mend a little bit. So let's go play over here in China or something like that just to kind of see what's going to happen over here. We have to be a laughing stock. I don't know.
Yes. And then to slide into one more thing. Did you see Ryan Reynolds wants to bring back Elf? This is really my hot topic. I
feel like you brought this up for a reason, because I have fully admitted on the 40-year dash, Alf was my childhood.
No, I didn't. Oh God, I forgot about it.
Yeah,
the 40-year dash that you brought up.
But yeah, I brought it up because Alf was absolutely terrifying to me. That fucking thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I completely forgot this then.
I will revisit this. He fucking terrified me. I had nightmares. That was the thing that gave me nightmares when I was younger. Because he would always eat cats. He just looked suspicious to begin with.
Oh,
and I'm pretty sure because I saw the finale where he got arrested by the fucking FBI or whatever the hell picked him up, that it just fucking sent me into a tizzy. Like, I'm like, no, I can't even.
He's
still fucking here. And then there was the whole thing. I distinctly remember they were doing at points in the 90s, where they'd have like one night every couple months an Alf special where he was like a talk show host or something like that. And it was at the same time that Princess Diana died too, that it was just like this they like ran a commercial during that coverage. And I'm like, why would you fucking do this to me? It's 12:30 at night already. And I'm like losing my shit in a tin can because I was out camping. And I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. So
you're not going to watch the remake?
I'm not watching the remake. The one, you know what? Ryan Reynolds has allowed one thing that doesn't make me happy, and this is going to be the one thing that doesn't make me too fucking happy. But I know a lot of people love it. I know a lot of people love Alf.
You're watching it now.
Did you really? What's it on?
Tubi or Freeze or one of those Pluto, one of those
free ones, yeah,
free apps.
Yeah.
It was amazing TV. Back then it was great.
Yeah.
You go back and watch it now, you're like, good Lord, I can see shit going on that shouldn't be going on.
Yeah.
Communications now, you're watching things, you're like, ugh. But yeah, I hope Elf comes back. I loved it. I really did. Him always wanting to eat Lucky.
To each their own. I think it's going to be, let it be. I hope it's good. I'll probably watch it one time to see how it is. Hopefully, maybe that's a way to resolve that whole childhood trauma. Or it's going to make it worse, and I'm just going to be in a ball in the corner. We'll see. We'll just see. We'll see how it plays out.
We should watch that episode together, for like the first 5 minutes on the show, as we're recording, and just get your real feels.
I guarantee you I will say this fucking thing 3 times in that 5 minutes. Maybe more. It might even be fuck this fucking thing at that point. We'll see what happens.
All right. wrestling news. Do you have any hot takes? Anything news on the week?
Nothing big. I'm scrolling the Twitter now X, whatever the fuck this thing's called now by Elon Musk. There's one thing out by Wrestling Observer that says Jamie Hayter's unlikely to be in All In, so I think that's going to be a developing story right now.
Jamie Hayter, I also saw unlikely to return in 2023.
I heard that rumor, but I wasn't sure. So now with seeing this definitely confirmed for not in All In, whatever, but it could be very much likely. She probably did a lot of damage.
Do you think, and I know, do you think you at least ship her over to make an appearance?
I think you could ship her over to make appearances, but I guess she's definitely not making it on the show. So I think it's more of, hey, here's Jamie. Yeah, here's a signing.
Whatever they're doing.
Yep, exactly. It's just like an all access type thing.
Yeah.
So, but that sucks. I mean, that was going to be one of your big ones, but I guess they're going to rely more on Saraya now, although I don't see what kind of program they're going to run with that.
She had a little bit of a tiff this week, and I'm glad you brought it,
yeah,
swung it around. She had a little bit of a tiff this week because she said we're going to probably jump to AEW next. So if we cover this now, it's okay. Essentially the Britt Taya ending last 30 seconds. So Rhea said this before that match, that she feels like the Outcasts weren't booked right, and there just seems to be a major loss right now in the women's division. And this was literally before Wednesday. She said that. I know because I posted it on Facebook one of the days while I was at work. Yes. While I was at work, I posted it.
You schedule those tweets and those posts. Yeah.
Yeah, especially when it said this happened 13 seconds ago. Oh, shit, I got to post it.
Yes, exactly. You know when that's supposed to happen.
Right. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So then Wednesday, we get, and when we get to the Britt Taya match, I do have more to say, but let's just stick and stay on the sign that was there.
Oh, yeah.
Book women's division better or whatever. I have it written down in my notes, but we're not in note time yet.
Yeah, I was going to.
Yeah.
100%, yeah. I mean, I was going to bring it up during the show, but let's do it now. He's not wrong. I think also what was interesting is they didn't immediately pull away either, which I thought was interesting because, a lot of people would have been like, nah, get that off. It was there for good 5-10 seconds where that was the focus, was that sign.
It was like he was looking for it, though, the cameraman.
Yeah, he was. So that also makes me think that it's internally, there's a lot of people sending the message of, you got to do something better than what you're doing right now with the women's division and all that. I'm gonna say it. You have 3 programs. Make one a women's program.
Yeah.
Rampage? Maybe?
I'm going to stir the pot.
Stir it.
If not an all-women's program, more heavily based, because we're getting maybe one match on each, and sometimes Rampage doesn't have a women's match at all.
Not at all.
But they're trying to get at least one on Dynamite, one on Collision. All right. Well, we've just been waving the flag for the girls playing softball and the FIFA World Cup that I've waved for 4 years, and da-da-da-da-da. Between your 2 big shows, you got 4 hours. You're giving us one women's match. One women's segment, I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
At least WWE, they're talking to them. The way that I just said that comes off harsh and ignorant. I apologize. That's not what I mean. They're talking to the women and the talent in the back. They're checking on Liv because she's injured. They're giving us updates. They're focused on them. There's more of them. We got Britt and Taya on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Yes, I know it went to a commercial in picture-in-picture, and we'll get there over that too, but not right now during the show. But yeah, they have the talent. Noteworthy. Rosa's uptick. Looks like she could be back.
Yeah.
Sooner than later. Not soon, but sooner than later.
Yeah.
So that's good. Madison Rain should be coming back soon. The Bunny should be coming back soon. Red Velvet should be. I mean, they have a lot of returnees coming back. Yeah, let's focus one. Have it be whatever one. I don't care. Really. This is your women's show.
I think they have to make this move. I mean, even before you had the Bunny, Rosa, and all of them coming back from injury, they had the talent there to book multiple segments and multiple things, especially with the Outcasts. You have 3 world champion-esque talent on there. One's a legend, one is the current AEW world champion, and Ruby is a superstar. People recognize her. She is up there. You can book 3 different matches. Okay, 2 different matches at least with Ruby and Tony. Saraya is, once every 30 days, which is fine.
Right.
You can make things work with these people, but if you're only showcasing the 2 Outcasts versus Willow and Sky, that's great for Willow and Sky, but you also have the depth of talent to put more people on there. You have Julia Hart, who, even if she's on Collision, she can do more. She can have more. Anna Jay, I don't think we've seen outside of the backstage segment since her match with Julia Hart.
Right.
At least wrestle. So they've basically relegated it down to 6 women who they think are for TV time. I get you have injuries, but I know you have a talent plethora of women out there. They're in ROH. They're doing a lot in ROH. They're not doing much on AEW. You got to blur the line a little bit and give them that time and give them that screen time, even if it's the hour show that is Rampage, and give them segments on each bigger show. That's how you have to do it. Get them the screen time. Get these storylines built up, because it's never going to catch traction with the casual fan if you're not going to develop storylines that are like, oh, I should probably watch this and I should probably get into it more.
I'm glad you brought that up. What's the major storyline in AEW for the women right now?
It's the Outcasts right now, is it not? I mean, it could be.
You answered that with a question.
The question. I had to
still with a question.
Because I don't know. You know what I mean? Athena.
But nothing around Tony being champion.
No, it's about the Outcasts as a group. Or, I mean, well, let's even take it a step back. It was about Ruby and the Owen Hart tournament for
6 weeks.
For 6 weeks. And now it's, hey, they're here. That's what it seems to be right now.
Yeah.
Like, Britt has been having a couple matches, but they kind of rotated her out so that Ruby could have the spotlight in the entire tournament, which I think is just absolute bull. You should be rotating them in. You found enough to fill the tournament, but now you won't showcase the women outside of 3 or 4 of them that actually showed up in the tournament and wrestled in the tournament. That's kind of bullshit on that regard.
Kind of bullshit. I agree.
Yeah.
The other thing that I want to bring up before we get into the shows is, I don't know if you saw this. It was recent, like right before the show. Santana's training. Santana's on his way back.
I did see that. I also saw something about Ortiz and Santana May. Pride and Powerful back on the AEW website. There may be a mending of the fences here, so there's a lot of potential there that we could be seeing them back as a tag team.
I hope so.
It would be fantastic. I think that would inject some major life into the tag team division, which has been great, guys, but it needs another tag team to reestablish it, especially if the JAS is starting to fall apart and everything's starting to fizzle out.
And we'll get there.
But again, to that point, we had a blind eliminator tag tournament, so to me, things are kind of reaching the Bucks end of credible tag teams that are there for FTR. So Pride and Powerful coming back and being one of those tag teams.
I would hope if they do, when they do, they get a skyrocket up their ass, because I said they should have had the titles at least once by now.
I agree wholeheartedly. And there's built-in history with FTR with that whole series of matches that they had, the injury of Cash, yada, yada, yada. there's a lot of good TV and a lot of good things going on right there as well. So I can't wait.
So San Jose, which I don't know if they're north or south, advanced to...
technically north, I think. They're by San Fran. Okay. That would be north, yeah.
They're the West champs. They're going to Greenville.
Represent. Greenville, North Carolina?
Yeah.
North Kakalaki?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't even say... Never mind. All right, let's do it.
North Carolina! Hey, I got to look from Bailey, so we did that right.
Bailey's pissed.
Bailey got woken up, so yeah, she's pissed.
Oh, no. Also, the trade deadline in baseball, so a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah. About even though it's not full power, Thor, Guardians getting Thor, Noah Syndergaard for Rosario. I thought that was a surprising deal.
Who got the best of that? I think it works for both.
I think it works definitely for both. I mean, the Dodgers get a consistent hitter out of Rosario, and the Indians get somebody, or the Guardians, get somebody that can go deep into games, at least stretch him deep into the games.
And he's going to the AL Central, so he's going to get a fucking Cy Young award by the end of the year.
Yeah, I know. He's going to be feasting on what is the AL Central.
Because the White Sox, listen, we'll get to wrestling. The White Sox are just dumping. They're in second place.
They were, they're technically in
third. Under fucking 500 in that division. Trust me, I'm a Tigers fan. I know.
And then you have, I was surprised they dumped Giolotto, or however you say his name. Yeah. They dumped him. They dumped a couple other people. I'm like, we're selling? What? Yeah. You're in the running. I mean, at least it's not like you're in the AL East where everybody's above 500 and the Yankees are still 6.5 games back. It could be leading the Central.
Still a better team than anybody.
I was going to say, they could lead the Central Division right now if they were in it, but...
Yeah. So a lot going on there. August 12th, don't forget, High Ground Summer Meltdown is coming. So if you're going to be in Mayfield and around the Scranton area, make sure you get there. I had a media session last week. I think it was caught on tape. I don't know yet, but I got accosted by Fletcher Young. I was walking in, getting ready to set up all media and everything, and he just grabbed me and demanding a match. Not with me, but he thinks I'm a booker now or something. Was kind of just throwing me around.
We're gonna have to hire your security, or I need to start showing up to these shows with a chair or something. I don't know.
Right. I mean, it was like he was sitting outside. I thought, all right, he's doing whatever. He had a media time set, and I thought we were going to do that. He grabbed me, fucking left after he grabbed me. I guess that was his media time.
You know what? He went for the biggest dog in the yard, I think, and he was making a point. You were on one poster, and now you're the second coming. I don't know.
Sure. That'll go over well. All right, let's get into wrestling. So let's do our due diligence. Collar and Elbow, go and buy some stuff. Hats, hoodies, tees, all the cool stuff that else known as hooligans have down at Collar and Elbow. We have a promo code for you, and you'll save money. Jenks?
It's Can Crushers, baby. Save 10% on all purchases.
We are everywhere.
Everywhere.
I actually, at work, did some due diligence. You know, there's like over 100 hosting platforms and everything. I was on a rabbit hole. I had to wait for a test to get done. So there was nothing to do but wait for 45 minutes for this test to get done. So I got down a rabbit hole. This is all sponsored by the way, Podurama. Because they've really made everything boom. By the way, if you want a cool streaming service that you can listen from your phone to your laptop to your PC to your car, whatever, everything is in sync. Make sure you check out Podurama. It's in the show notes. As of right now, if you sign up for it, you save 50% on the lifetime deal. They're amazing. They really are. So I went down this rabbit hole. There's hosting sites Jenks.com, this.com, listen to wrestling. Like, these are all made up, by the way. I'm just saying there is a trillion million of them, and I'm like, how many are we really on? We name like 5 or 10 each show. We'd never be able to name them all. I think I was in real talk now. I think I was over 70, and I'm like, all right, I gotta fucking stop. This test is done.
I mean, when we get to 5 and 10, we're making up names at that point. But now we're over 70. Holy at least.
Like there's just, if we wanted to have a network, okay?
Yeah.
Call it Can Crushers now. Like networks are just, and I'm not boasting, folks. By the way, I'm not. I'm just shocked how many networks, hosting sites there are out there. So I don't know where you're listening. I always say, hey, you're listening on Spotify, you're listening on iTunes, you're listening on this. You might be listening on Jenks Wrestling Network. Yeah. I don't know. Thank you, though.
Thank you for wherever you're listening to our podcast. Yeah, we only name the major ones because those are the ones we can think of off the top of the head. But wherever you're listening to, thank you for letting us fill your ear holes with delightful sounds and tones and commentary every week.
That was Mango Rays, by the way.
You've been doing that a lot.
I am TV. I told you. I'm halfway done with number 2, and we're almost done with the first segment, so I'm doing good. IMDb as well. So we've named enough. We're on social medias. What socials?
We're on Facebook, Twitter. That could be X now. Don't get me started on that. We have an Instagram. You know, we have them out there. Hell, we might be even on UFOsOnly.com. You never know. They've been identified. They're out there. We are the sanity for when the aliens need to take a break from what is Real Housewives of America in the world. So we're the sanity play on that. So we're on.
I'm sure the life.
Oh, we're broadcasting. Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're going to be so happy that we brought it up.
I got a sidebar while we're doing our plugs and all that. I should have brought this up earlier, but I can't comprehend right now that wrestling is the most sane thing happening in my life right now. Like, not like, personally.
Wow, fucking real talk is hit us right now.
No, like, don't get me wrong. Like, personal life is great. It's fine. Wrestling does not compare to that. But like, if I talk about every fucking thing that's happening in the world around us, wrestling storylines seem fucking tame.
Normal.
Seem normal.
Yeah.
Like, did you think we would ever get to that spot?
No. Never. Never. Where Valhalla is putting people through tables. And it happens.
Yeah, that does happen. I mean, shit happens. Valhalla came for you. I don't know what to tell you.
Where we have crocodiles living in sewers in Alaska. And listen, now I'm just making stuff up, but I don't know. I mean, the world's a messed up place.
The world's a messed up
place. It's just sanity all over again. Or reach us on cancrusher69@gmail.com.
Don't forget to call the hotline, 814-299-6687. Especially for our 500th episode, we want to hear from all of you Can Crushers that listen to us. Aliens, if you're a UFO, give us your Morse codes and that. Just call us.
Do you know that, by by the way?
No, I was trying to think of a coding system to kind of invite people in to kind of give us
DOS.
Coding system. Yeah, we're gonna get fucking binary code now, and it's gonna be 1001110, whatever. But call us, give us your thoughts, congratulate us, get your free airtime, up to 3 minutes. Don't yell at us for being idiots, talking too much about video games or whatever. Do it. For our 500th episode, we want to hear from you guys. Also, don't call 50 times. And
you have 3 minutes.
You have 3 minutes to get your shine. Don't call us 5 times and pretend to be Macho Man rising from the grave. That's all I'm saying. That's the PSA for today.
By the way, I thought about that for the longest time. I'm like, no, I'm not playing Paul Heyman.
Well, it would be different if it actually sounded like Paul Heyman.
Or an attempt.
Yes.
It sounded like Bailey or Mac just saying, hey, this is Paul Heyman.
What if it was an actual alien? Maybe we have it all wrong and it's an alien impersonating.
It's just saying. It's definitely not.
Well, I've met the kid. He's flirting with alien status here.
All right, when we come back, we're going to jump into AEW now. We're going to give you AEW thoughts because we kind of lingered with AEW, so we have to go there. So, all right, break time.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
It's Miss Reality, Maddie Renkowski, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. I mean, it's not as real as me, but you could listen to my episode.
Welcome back to Can Crushers, everybody. I learned geography during the timeout.
And I also learned that my wine is actually from a local winery, so kind of a geography lesson just down the road from my house. So that's fun. And it's also honey coffee wine, not caramel coffee wine, which I was saying before. So
this rum that I'm going to be drinking on episode 500, it comes in a bottle that looks like a, what did I just call it? The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse.
Lighthouse.
Jesus. How many cans have you had during the break?
Yeah, none. I haven't opened the other one yet. But it seems like it's just made by me or you because there's no name on it. It just says Aruba.
I mean, the clip art Lighthouse thing that they got going on is pretty special in its own right.
It really is. I can't wait. 486, 14 more before I have that. Thank God I have other stuff in back, just in case. Just in case. All right, so we have to decompress now and get to wrestling.
Let's get serious.
And let's shoot our shot. Did you watch Death Before Dishonor? Did you end up buying it?
I did not end up buying it or watching it. I did see clips and see who won. It was not on purpose. It looked great. It just didn't happen for me. So
yeah, me neither. The recording, whatever. A 2-hour show takes us 4 hours to record sometimes. The shenanigans in between.
It happens. It happens.
Right. We would get kicked. I figured why we are not on YouTube. Because we would get kicked off.
We would do something stupid that would get us kicked off.
No, we do stuff stupid.
I know, but yeah.
Just leaving and recording the whole time and then, all right, I'm going to be back. I got to go piss and I'm going to go let the dogs out. And then recording the whole time. And then when we do come back, that's a shit show within itself. So let's just stay audio.
Yeah.
By the way, Joe Burrow is not going to be my quarterback this year.
Calf strain already.
It's going to linger all year. Done.
It's not going to be worth it. Don't draft fucking Joe Burrow. Avoid different lineups and that. I'm not even touching Tua because I believe in Tua in Madden. I don't believe in Tua in real life right now. So.
And this breaks my heart, by the way. Kenny Pickett is the worst rated starter.
Oh, I saw that.
Come on. I mean, he's not top 10. He might be top 20.
Yeah. But he's not the worst. 20.
He's not the worst. Come on.
Because we're putting, and this is Tampa Bay's quarterback, Baker Mayfield ahead of Kenny Pickett right now.
Right.
And Baker needs to reprove himself. So, also, Madden ratings are shit. They don't mean anything.
Hate on the Steelers all you want this year. Good, because that's when they run amok. By the way. Yeah.
I know, and I hate every minute of it.
Let's start with Collision. Fancy man.
Thank you. I didn't put my pinky out, but go ahead.
I know I've said this from the start of Collision, and I will probably say it every week. Something just hits different and gets me juiced up for anything that goes on with those 4 or 5 promos they do before the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then, boom, Saturday Night's All Right comes on. Collision now, and it has been, but is a must-watch just because they are bringing it. And I dabbled. Their ratings are really freaking good and we shit on these. And this is us saying, hey, Collision on 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. Mark's out drinking, Jenks is out
gallivanting,
apples, doing things, and families do things. People are getting home by 8 o'clock Saturday nights to watch Collision.
And that's I think it's that, and also some people are just like, hey, nothing better to do. Let's sit back, enjoy it. Or you know what? I'll
aliens.
Listen, I will soberly pick up wrestling and watch it, but I'm betting there's also some like drunk college kids that just come home from day drinking and they're like, oh, fucking wrestling, let's fucking go and put it on.
Pizza and watch wrestling.
Yeah, and then they're like, I don't know who the
guy.
Yeah, and half of them are like, I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but he just sure as hell flew across the ring like a fucking nightmare. And there's nothing wrong with that because it's getting viewership, it's getting people into the product, and that's what AEW needed. And I think we go back to Mark. You kept bringing it back up. It's that old feel, that old timey, that old old school feel. This is it hits different on a Saturday night because it's almost like a pay-per-view-esque feeling to it, even though it's on every week.
And they're giving pay-per-view matches.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this before we get to the card. In a year, because it's still in its infancy, is Collision going to be the bigger show than Dynamite? Not saying it's the mainstay show,
right?
Or because... Listen, if we're still talking WWE, Raw's the flagship show.
Yeah.
On paper.
Right.
SmackDown blows it out of the water week in and week out.
Yeah.
Dynamite will still be the flagship show, and I'm doing air quotes again. I think Collision's going to be it. That's my thoughts.
I think it has the potential to be, and here's why I'm hesitant, because Rampage was there. And then they let it falter after about 6 months, and they kind of let it dwindle away.
But Rampage has moved from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon to noon on the West Coast, sometimes on Fridays because you have the Golden State game coming on.
That's fair.
Rampage is the expendable show because of it's TNT, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. TNT will shit on them as soon as basketball season's back on.
But that's the other thing with TNT, though. Basketball season impacts Collision then, too, because that's 8 o'clock on Mondays. But, again...
Saturdays,
sorry. Again, if it's fresh, brand new, does basketball preempt it? Or does it preempt it to TBS? It still delivers live, but it's on a different channel. I think it's going to end up being... Could it be a sacrificial lamb going forward for bigger sport events?
I think. How far are we away from basketball season?
I would say about 2 months away. End of October, so about 3 months, I guess, technically.
We are not network execs whatsoever. I'm sure after 487 shows, you know that. But can't they just put the West Coast matchups on TNT on Saturday nights? Just give us Lakers, Portland, and whatever.
They could. I guess it just depends on how they schedule those. You know what I mean? And it could be. Now, I know they started doing ABC primetime games going forward on Saturday. So maybe that TNT doesn't get until it gets the late game, which would work out perfectly for them because they did that with Dynamite for a lot of the time. Is Dynamite would be the lead into hockey season or basketball games or whatever. The possibilities are there, but I guess from my perspective, I don't know what the TV schedule looks like for basketball overall. But I think they have the opportunity to do that. I guess it just depends on the type of deal you have. And can you make an argument to sacrifice NBA time for a wrestling company that's only been around for 5 years, right?
Understand.
So I think it's a horse apiece, especially if they're depending on the ratings each year.
You own both. You own both TBS and TNT. If you're putting, listen, this is how much we know about basketball. If you're putting the Knicks or the Brooklyn on, they play on TBS at 7 o'clock. Sometimes games run over, so you don't want to have that cross that you are going to lose the Brooklyn crowd from, oh, this game might be a wash, but we have to have the Lakers on. Put Brooklyn on TBS, and then Lakers start at 10 o'clock on TNT. AEW just has to have a strong stop for Collision.
Right. It has to have the clean cutoff at 10.
Yeah. That hasn't been happening.
That hasn't been happening, but I also think you're going to take the one that's been the 10-year is going to win out through and through. I know you're trying, but I think it brings it back to the original point. You're right. Rampage started getting preemptive after 6 months because that's what they needed it to be. That's my fear, is this is going to start getting lost in shuffles and moving around. I think its only saving grace is it's its own live show. So AEW kind of has a stake in saying, you can't move us from this time stake. You can move us to TBS if you have to, but we are through and through AEW at 8 o'clock. Our show goes off.
By the way, and I waited for this. It should be a hot topic, but I waited. AEW has put in for a trademark for AEW Plus.
I did see that.
So we'll see.
So do we get
What does that mean? I don't know. But we'll see.
If we get a streaming service, great. But now the question becomes,
how much money are you taking from us?
How much money are you taking from us? Which I'm guessing is going to be like 10. It's not going to be anything astronomical. But I think the follow-up question is, do you deal with network deals after this? You let the contract kind of go and sell your product? I think you lose some audience. You're losing something with that, because there's not going to be a lot of people that are going to make that transition or can't afford to make that transition to another monthly streaming service.
And it better be more than just, listen, this is why, no disrespect, this is why NWA isn't really covered that much. Not just us, across the board, because I'm not going to pay $9.99 for a fight to watch a weekly show.
Yep, exactly.
And then have to pay for the pay-per-views as well. So essentially, $60 a month. I'm rounding $60 a month for all my NWA content.
Right. Well,
listen, we're not doing it for ROH right now. Me and you, and we love ROH.
Yeah,
it's just not there yet.
It's just not enticing enough. Hell, even New Japan has a U.S. streaming service, and we're not even springing for that. And we know the established players of Okada, of Naito, Ishii, Bailey's trying to get involved because she's trying to crash the party. But we know those established guys that we could buy it and say, that's a solid investment. But we don't, because it's not something that attracts us in fully yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? So even with G1 going on right now, which
I know every year I'm like, I should, but
yeah,
I can't. I have AEW Fight Forever to play, or I'm now bow hunting now, by the way.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of Madden seasons and that. By the way, this is why I did not want to keep this bottle here. I'm already filling up. So
back to Collision. The beginning took way too long. I loved every bit of it, but holy schmolies. Just get to it.
Just get to what we need. Get to the action. Get through it. I love the promos beforehand, and I want more like that on other shows. But if you're going to follow it up with an in-ring segment 2, and then 15 minutes, I was going to say, and then we're not getting wrestling until 20 minutes in, you're asking a lot from us. Give us the promos, give us a quick match right out the gate, then go into the whole thing with Starks, Cage, Punk, and all of that stuff. Give us something right out of the gate.
By the way, the pyro that Ricky Starks had was $100,000.
He's an expensive man. He is an expensive man.
Stupid stuff out. I told you this has been a week, so this is what you're getting. Nothing's in his Gucci bag or whatever Versace whatever bag that he had. I love this because it has set up so much. It's set up. Like people are like, how are you going to get to this, Mark? We could get Punk against Mox because of what happened in this, and like so much happened during this, and I'm like, holy shit, they've just taken this to another level. But you could have trimmed about 5 minutes off of this.
Trimmed 5 minutes off, but you're right. They've sprinkled in everything they needed to do to plant seeds of not only everybody in the promo, but everybody outside in the company itself, if they're willing to make it to Saturday night. I think that's going to end up being the play here with a lot of things. Is you come to my playground, then we'll see if you're ready to take the title off of me or whatever's in the Gucci bag, or if it's nothing, it's nothing. Honestly, at this point, I wanted it to be the big reveal of Punk just pulling out a middle finger. I feel like that would be the best part of this whole thing. Just the heel turn, middle finger, kick somebody in the balls, and it's done. But
Punk's not getting any love whatsoever. I like this, but he's still playing that he doesn't hear it.
Right. How long, and then when's the snap happen? There's a snap going to come down the line here where he's the heel. He will be the overruling heel. It's just a matter of time. I'm hoping, in my mind of minds, MJF isn't staying face to make the heel Punk work.
No.
Because that's kind of where my head started going was, are they leaving MJF face at this point? And then Punk's going to be that heel that comes in Chicago and steals the title off of him. And then that's where we're at.
Darby doesn't want to be a pillar. Pillars, whatever. Starks doesn't want to be a pillar because he stands alone. Actually, Darby says everybody's a pillar because as long as you're in AEW, is what Darby said.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Naive.
Tony saying it was Luchasaurus and not Christian. Like, oh, good. Luchasaurus is in the match. Because since he's won, Luchasaurus has not wrestled. You know that, right?
He hasn't wrestled, and he hasn't claimed that he owns the title. Christian has. So It's like, the fuck is Luchasaurus even doing?
Good, long, but told a lot of stories. Next up, we have Andrade not allowed in the building. They just... Listen, it was good, but I'm going to be that guy. They just put him in a side room. He didn't leave the building.
Maybe it's like one of those things where it's just not part of the building. It's rented out by somebody down the line, you know.
It's like a third party.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like there's like some part of the U.S. that's not is not owned by the U.S. It's just inhabited by some guy with one tooth down in the middle of the Everglades, and it's his own country. You know,
there's actually a place like that somewhere.
There is something like that. And I remember Family Guy did a spoof on it where Peter's house was the only house that was not in the United States or something like that. Yes. And he took over Joe's pool and then invited all the dictators over. This was in the early seasons when I actually watched Family Guy, but it was hilarious nonetheless. But I digress. Let's go back.
By the time we get to in-ring action, I'm spent. And we get Martin in Action Andrade against the Bullet Club. And the Bullet Club wins. And I'm like, okay, give me some meat and potatoes now. Because you fed us so many appetizers. The entree, not that this was the main course, but the lead up to it, and I like broccoli, but I got broccoli. Right?
Yeah. This, to me, this should have been House of Black versus the Acclaimed.
Instantly.
And even then, and we won't get into detail until we get to it, they cut the promo short. It would have worked perfectly during this whole thing. Like, it was fine. That would have been the thing, since you're only putting over these first two matches. It was putting over Bullet Club Gold, and it was putting over Miro. That's exactly what it was for the first two matches. So why not make that the filler matches?
Or put Miro right on after Andrade and
yeah.
Because everybody, like Miro,
people love.
Miro has Roman when everybody wanted Roman to be champion. He's got that right now. Like, I listen, he should have the TNT title. Maybe not the main title right now because he's not a main player, but he should have a title. And I ask you this now: do we need another title on Collision?
Yes, because it doesn't make any sense. I feel like there needs to be at least one more title, whether the TNT title stays on Collision and another title pops up for Dynamite and Rampage, or Jesus Christ, I'm having body malfunction over here. Holy shit, that wouldn't hurt me. Or I actually think there needs to be a new title on TNT, on Dynamite. Not even Rampage, but it should be on Dynamite because Dynamite's on TBS. It should be like I don't know what, maybe a Galaxy title or something, like just a secondary title of just something out there. Everybody's got their own US title, so why not just make it the AEW United States title or something?
National
off the wall. National Lampoon's title, but you know what? Actually, let's take a step back. Do they though? Because you do have the international world title the international title that does not go to Collision that often. We don't see Orange Cassidy popping up.
Right.
So is that technically the secondary title that is really being highlighted on
it is
Dynamite right now? Yeah. So
get the other one over there.
So is it just leave them separated? International titles on Dynamite, Rampage, and then you have Collision's just the TNT title at this point.
Well, I mean, maybe that's the switch now that Christian showed up over there. Maybe that's
that might be the switch. It's the inadvertent switch, but it's also the informal brand split, if you will, that has occurred because a lot of these guys, the acclaims dabbled between both shows, but there's a lot of guys that are strictly Saturday night. Yep.
By the way, as we said, Bullet Club wins, Miro wins. Camarado is good. He's just handcuffed by the QT piece, the whole QT thing.
How do we get him away from it though? Because it's like
he could be.
That's exactly it.
He could be as good as Hobbs, and you know how we are on Hobbs. Like, we love him, and he's gone for a while. But he could be essentially another Hobbs. He's a big guy. Like, he could be doing stuff. He just got handcuffed, and he is a big man jobber.
Like every other big man in the company, which is absolute
garbage.
Yes, it's bullshit. And I don't want to lay it out as, well, they're doing it to better their pillars and that, but you've seen a lot of them get sacrificed to Darby, and to an extent, Orange Cassidy's their pillar right now. He's not the pillar for the future, so he is taking down big guys left and right. And I get it's the underdog story, but one of these guys has to be just the
underdog win all the time, or he's not an underdog anymore.
Exactly. You're just going to roll your eyes and say, like we did with Lance Archer a couple of weeks ago, we knew it was coming. We knew he was being built up to get struck down by someone, and it happened literally the next night.
Right. Sweet Polly Purebred solved most of Underdog's issues. The cartoon, the Underdog.
Yep.
So he really never solved any. He just fell in and captured people.
Yeah.
Sweet Polly Purebred. Look that up, kids.
It took me a minute to catch up, and then I realized, oh wait, that's a cartoon. Like, that's my head had to register. But
70s cartoon, 70s, early 80s cartoon. I digress. The FTR promo. good.
Yeah.
Not great, good.
Solid. I mean, that's
what they do.
It's what they do, and it's at least serviceable to get them through. They'll have to respond to what MJF did to them on Wednesday, but we'll get there when we get there. When we talk about that Yosemite Sam type promo.
Well, they'll respond to it tonight.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
House of Black against Acclaimed. I was excited for this. Then it was just a fight, and then I realized this match meant nothing.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
It ended up meaning nothing in the long run of things, but it also meant the most if what's happening is happening actually, or is it not happening?
You would not show, and I'm going to reveal my...
You wouldn't show, yeah, you would not show it.
You would not show Malachi talking to him prior to him doing this.
Well, that's where I think the wool's being pulled over a lot of people's eyes.
I don't think Billy Gunn's retiring.
No, because I'll fully admit, first watched it, oh shit, he's walking away. He's leaving his boots. He's doing all that. A lot of concerned faces. But as I replayed it over and over again, to your point, the Malachi whispering to him, that's something totally different. And this is only something we've seen. We've seen this before with one Julia Hart. It was a spray, and then it was just slowly the indoctrination of her.
And if he was really retiring, he'd turn and wave to the fans.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk to Acclaim because he feels bad, and he knows he's going to have time backstage with them to do hugs and everything. But those fans in wherever they were, New Jersey, I know that for a fact, but someplace in New Jersey, why wouldn't he just turn and wave?
Yeah.
And this is all a storyline.
Mm-hmm.
From the second, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Well, you were like I'll admit, I kind of got hooked, and then I'm like, as in retrospect, yeah, it's storyline. I do want to see where it goes, because I'm now excited for a House of Black Billy Gunn for some reason. I think that would be really cool, right? Whatever that looks like. I don't know what that would look like.
Is he going to go back to, like, black hair, like rockabilly hair?
Billy hair. That's what I'm wondering. Is it like rockabilly hair? We're going to have black trunks, that type of thing. Very stoic type Billy Gunn, which we haven't seen at all. I don't remember seeing at any point in time. I mean, this is going to be the farthest thing from Mr. Ass, Billy and the Chuck, the one Billy Gunn, or the smoking gun for every that point. This is going to be something. It's going to take a while, but it's going to be something that's going to be very interesting to see.
It's 4-0 New York against Pennsylvania already.
PA's got to represent somehow.
Sky Blue against Taya. They got me on this. Like, I thought this was going to be another notch for Sky Blue, and she's going to get some comeuppance because Taya's a big name. Fast forward, it was that win for a loss type of AEW booking that they do. But I thought, this is going to be a big win for Sky Blue. She looked great. Again, taking the loss, she looked better than Taya.
Yeah.
And I was bummed that she didn't get that win because I thought she's going to be that push. And I said it before, I think she's going to be one of the players in that whole TBS. By the way, I love the TBS, by the way. It will get there, too. Of the next thing off of Statlander. Like, they have really pushed Sky. Now they have not.
Now they pulled back. And to me, it just felt forced and not. It was like, I don't know how to describe it because I'm like, oh, we're okay. Valkyrie's challenging Britt. Great, but that's not how they booked her. So there wasn't really like a heel turn.
No.
It was, I'm shooting a shot, which they turned something that was not, I don't know how to describe it. It just didn't make sense to do it. in the sense that they did it, because you could have just said Taya versus Britt on Dynamite.
First time ever.
They've done that 100 times before with a lot of different people, but now we want to make it the storyline, and I think this is why
that sign came up.
That sign came up because this is very much a forced storyline that didn't need to be forced. It was just, let these two ladies go out and do something. You want to progress the story after that, you progress the story after that. But let them just go have that first initial match. Because hell, they even did that for Saraya and Britt. Yeah, Britt was the heel, Saraya was the baby face. But they let them...
It had a turn.
In match, they had a turn, but it was... First time ever, that was the booking around it, and it was the illusion of, or it was the allure of your top woman and Britt versus a legend in Saraya. This just seemed like it was just, we need a reason to put Taya versus Britt and not fully comprehending what people mean by book your women better, to me.
And I'll get there when we get to that, because I have a lot to say from somebody else that said something. So
okay.
Then we get the Punk, Darby, Christian, and Starks. This was given 45 minutes. So essentially, these four guys were given an hour of your 2-hour show. It's way too much. I understand you're giving Starks his comeuppance and everything. And by the way, Starks was fan-fucking-tastic. I'm not shitting on any of the wrestlers or talent or anything in this. The whole thing, just these two segments could have been done, and I think meant more, in a half an hour.
Yeah.
10-minute promo, 20-minute match, and we would have gotten the same out of it. Then 15-minute promo, 45-minute match. Like, good they went 45 minutes, but fuck. What really happened in the match that you're going to say match of the year?
Yeah. To me, and I'm going to be that guy, and I'll shit it, it was Punk needed to do needed an hour because FTR had an hour the week before. And they're buddy.
They are.
But to me...
And I think they're both all three of them are running the show.
They're definitely all three running the show.
I mean,
they're the three in charge, like leading the charge in it. To me, that's what this felt like. It wasn't that we need 45 minutes to put on a master class, because there's times where 45 minutes is literally just so somebody gets their stars. And to your point, Starks looked amazing in this match. The match did what it had to do for what it was time-wise. But it just felt like it was, well, they got an hour, so I get an hour now to showcase my stuff because we're BFFs and we book the show and we do our thing. Again, this is speculation. I don't know if it's true or not. But that's what this match felt like to me. And I'm sitting there like, I know this could be a 15-minute match and we'd be good. And this is, I think, what also led to the sign for the women, because you said it, 25 minutes of this could have been a women's match. Could have been anything. Promos, tag team, women, something.
2 more matches and a promo.
Yeah.
For something, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It could have been something for the women, but no, we had to stroke egos. That type of thing.
Very much so. And we're not hating on them. But
we're not. Hey, listen, we can enjoy the match.
Spade.
Exactly. It's what it came off as. We can enjoy the match, but if it comes off in a certain way, it's coming off in a certain way to me.
But it came off that way.
Yeah.
Transition to Dynamite. Thank you.
You're welcome. I was a little late.
Starting with Darby and AR Fox, I didn't know that they were cherry picking and picking apples and everything together for years, and they were best friends. And
I didn't know AR Fox taught Darby, took him in. Like, I'm learning something new every day.
This is where we're gonna jump around. because we're on the Darby talking AR Fox. So we get the next match right off of this is Orange Cassidy against AR Fox for the international belt. Nice match. I want more. And this is prior to seeing, because you guys know what's coming up. I want more of AR. Because when I've seen AR, I've seen him with the Martins doing flippity stuff. And he did some flippity stuff, but I'm like, holy shit. This guy could be what you were trying to do with Action Andrade. This guy could be a player. I know he's got a close to 20-year career, whatever. This guy could do something. Yes, let's fucking play with this guy. And then you don't even let him build anything up, because then I'm going to transition. He takes out Orange Cassidy. Darby comes out. What the fuck's wrong with you? Mox comes in. A whole bunch of shit happens. Then we switch to the Darby and Swerve match. How can you get... I said wrestling was great this week, and it was. The wrestling was great. The storylines are what pissed me off this week. How can you get invested in AR Fox wanting to get with this underdog guy that's been 16 years in the career? Blah, 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 blah. We've heard it before. You're trying to build him up. Yes, Mark's finally fucking invested, which takes forever. Now he's with fucking Mogul Empire, who is only one step above Chaos Project, essentially, the Dark Order. No disrespect to the Dark Order. The Mogul Empire means dick to me because they haven't been built up. Now you're putting this guy that I'm like, hey, I want to watch AR Fox. Great story. Now he's a bad fucker. And I don't care. It went like that in 45 minutes?
Yeah. So I'm going to go back. Let's go back to OC and AR.
Quickly.
Yeah. Let's go back to AR and OC. I completely agree with you on all those notes. I'm actually more pissed that they didn't let AR Fox actually shine, because he seems like he's a smart wrestler who can have smart matches. They didn't let him shine. They just stuck him in a high flyer role with the Martins, which is fine if you wanted to get, maybe they wanted him to kind of teach them a little bit of the ropes, be like, okay, be smart about this, do this, yada, yada, yada. Don't do stupid shit on ladders because you'll break your legs, but we don't recognize that anymore. But I'm claiming this right now. As soon as he decked Orange Cassidy, I'm like, he's turning on fucking Darby.
Oh.
Because it was black and white, and then he was like panicking, but he wasn't really panicking, and I'm like, oh, this is a fucking bullshit turn. They're teasing it early. Darby's calming him down, and then they're going to go full bore with it when it's time for Strickland versus Allen.
So why not feed into that for 1-2 more weeks that he lost his cool? I get, he's on the show next week against
whoever.
Sammy. I don't know. Somebody. He loses to Sammy and he punches him again because he's just getting fed up that he's not getting his comeuppance. Yeah. Do it again. Darby comes out. Stop being a dickhead.
Yep. And then... Yeah.
Then the turn or something. You would at least 45 minutes. I can't get invested.
No, there's no way. There's just absolutely no way you can be invested. It seemed forced at that point because we didn't even know about AR Fox's and Darby's relationship unless you were the hardcorest of fans and knew everything about Darby Allin. You didn't know about that till last week.
By the way, when fine Google's Beach.
I noticed that. Did you go through the Southern Tier, or did you go?
I went through them.
You made it. Okay, that's fair.
I'm going through. This is my last one of these. Then I have to go to Visitor Beer because I don't have anything else. So I'll be drinking Miller Lite the rest of the show.
I had to put the wine bottle out of sight, so I didn't take any more out of it. But I'm trying to get to the segment 3 with it. Anyways, but they just kind of stripped everything out of it. And now he's with the Mogul Empire, which, hey, that could be great. But now I see blatantly the writing on the wall for All In or All Out is going to be AR Fox and Swerve versus Darby and Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne's fighting at this pay-per-view, and it's going to be at one of them. and it's going to be a tag team match. I already see this being the case. It's just going to be, is it in London or is it at Chicago? Pick your poison.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm also getting very fearful the London show is going to end up being a glorified Dynamite of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that way too? Because it just seems like it's getting to be a glorified Dynamite. And I'm not.
They're in Wembley. That's it. All of a sudden.
It's just we're in Wembley. We have 85,000 people that are going to be there, but you know what? We're going to put a glorified tag team match and glorified Dynamite up on there.
Max!
I had to finish my thought before Mark yelled because I saw it happening. Mark, what's going on over there? Because you have a very disappointed look on your face.
He's on the top of the couch. I'm the only one home, by the way. He's on the top of the couch. So the studio has to be open so I can watch these goddamn hooligans. He's on the top of the couch doing inappropriate things to the couch. Lay down. I digress.
You know, things just break down when we're talking Dynamite.
I don't think I've done that during the show, by the way.
That's not in the 2 years I've been here has that happened.
Jeez Louise.
Oh my God.
Move along. Renee with Jericho and Callis. People want to see it happen. Jericho and Takeshita against Danny and Sammy. By the way, I want that painting. That would look fucking amazing right next to my Double J one. I hope there's at least... Remember when Kramer had that painting?
Oh, yeah.
And then it actually became something that they sold because everybody wanted it? I hope they have that, by the way. Jericho's not joining. He's not going to leave Danny and Sammy behind.
That's fair.
Sides.
So I guess to that point, does it become then this whole thing was for Takeshita versus Jericho, which to me
could have been happening in a different way.
It could have happened in a different way, but I think it also makes everything fall flat up to this point because the build was Sammy and Jericho. That seemed like the build here, which was it was finally doing something. It was a build that we would have wanted because it made sense. Instead of like Jericho versus Cole or Jericho versus Orange or anything like that. This was actually something that worked. But we're going to pull it at the last minute to be Jericho versus Takeshita. You're feeling that? I'm still going to say this is still like Jericho. I think this is still a Jericho-Sammy thing because to me, I can't. Why invest the time for 2 months?
I hope I'm wrong. I just don't do that.
You could be right. I mean, you're probably right because they've done it before. You spent the time, commit to it, make it that instead of just kind of like, we tease it. Yeah, don't worry about it.
See you later.
Put your butt back together. See you later. We're gonna go for it.
I fucking love Jack Perry. Never thought that was gonna. I love that he's a royal douchebag and everything about him now.
Yeah,
everything about him. But I'm not excited to see him and Jerry Lynn. They announced face to face. He challenged him to a match. And then they announced a face to face.
Yeah, so it's literally going to end up being Jungle Boy's just going to beat him down.
Right.
Probably in the middle of the ring just to get heat. Or Taz is going to choke him out.
Come though. Are we going to get an ECW person? That's where I'm thinking. Like, this might be that name that people are like, oh my God, coming to Wembley.
Here's my fear. It's not going to be somebody else coming. It's going to be Taz. That's going to be try to put a stop to it. Ooh, that's where my head's at because it's Jack Perry beaten down now one of the ECW originals. He's beaten down Jerry Lynn. He's already run down his son. Taz is full on pissed right now at Jack Perry. Taz is going to be the guy that comes out because it's a face to face. Taz will be the guy that comes down
running from the announcer's table,
confronts him, and then he'll back down. I don't know if it'll be a match, but it's going to be some sort of thing.
Wrestling match or something stupid that we're going to get annoyed with.
Something at Wembley, and then the following week at All In or All Out, it's going to be Hook, the return of Hook versus Jack Perry. Like Hook's returning at Wembley. That's where my head's at. And that's going to be the whole thing.
I did like I mean, I loved ECW. I still will go back and watch ECW, especially the one that I'm on. Not that I'm on, but I'm in the front.
Oh, you're in? Oh, yeah. You're on the show?
Yeah. I love them running down the company, though. It's cool.
Yeah, it is.
I was wondering, like, if Sandman was sitting at home just, like, fucking stewing over what he said or something. Tommy Dreamer's too much in the business with the air quotes with Busted Open and everything like that. By the way, Busted Open's coming up real quick. Yeah. We get Renee with Britt essentially saying, yeah, I'm ready here for Taya. Why haven't we thought of this in 5 fucking years of the business, the Britt show?
I don't know.
TV, I mean,
it would make sense.
I fucking popped over this. Like, nobody thought of this.
Nobody put 2 and 2 together. But then again, with Jade, you're like, oh, it's that big show. I mean, so you know what I mean? It's like, how many that be shows can you have at one time? So now it's that Britt show. Does she run amok? Is she gonna challenge for the TBS title at some point now?
I think she has to now.
That's a hint. I feel like that's the hint now. We're gonna play this game. She's beaten Taya, so that's one that's already been off the list of Chris. She's gonna start moving through. People that Chris Statlander's beaten. So expect at the pay-per-view
have both women's titles.
Exactly. So expect that at one of the alls. The all-ins or outs. It's going to be at one of them.
It's going to be in or out.
It's going to be in. It's going to be somewhere. We're going to go in, then we're going to go out. We'll see what happens.
We talked about Darby, and I know I'm jumping ahead. I have to jump ahead because I missed the whole match because it was a monsoon thunderstorm down here. Shit you not. I had a black screen. Pac came out, Lasertron or Gravity or whatever the fuck the guy's name is, came out in his spacesuit. Black screen for like whatever, and then it popped back on. I didn't see this match. Thankfully, I didn't because I was annoyed when I saw him come out.
First thing, that happened to me too, but it was during it was during the 2 out of 3 falls match. That similar thing happened. I lost 20 minutes of that match and I was into another match and I'm like, the fuck just happened? And then all of a sudden I got it back. I went back to where it needed to go and it came through and I'm like, I don't know what just happened.
I didn't because I was pissed off. I'm like, this guy is Lasertron.
I gotta comment on this because Gravity did beat Commander at ROH, this Death by Dishonor, so I thought that was hilarious. The other hilarious part of this match, the only point worthy of this, and everybody listening that's watched knows where I'm going with this. You probably do too, because you probably saw it after. Is Punk asking, "Do you remember?" Or Pac asking, "Do you remember me? Do you know who I am?" To Gravity, because and Excalibur brought this up. At one time, Pac was the man that Gravity forgot. So their whole shtick for the first 30 seconds of the match was, do you remember me? And Pac actually smiled for the first time in AEW. And he's like, I'm Pac. And he was like introducing himself again to Gravity during this whole thing. So it was funny for the first 15 seconds. That's all this match was Pac reintroducing himself to Gravity. So now that they're back on good terms. But you didn't like the moon suit?
No. Walked like he was on the moon. Essentially, he came out and he took like 2 steps like he was Neil Armstrong. That's a guy, not Lance.
Yeah.
Hiker. Yeah, Neil Armstrong. And I'm like, good Lord. And then my screen, because again, I wasn't up Wednesday night for this.
Yeah.
I watched it Thursday. My screen went black, and then we're into the MJF Adam Cole thing. And I'm like, whew, I didn't miss anything.
Spoiler, he did it in the match as well.
Of course. I don't want to say this is probably one of my favorites, but this was really fucking stupid. And I mean stupid isn't good. I really want them to win, and I really want them to be a team for a while just because of this nonsense. It's not going to happen. We've already listened. In a couple weeks, we'll give everything. But for the match tomorrow night, I still think it's Adam turning.
Do you?
I do.
I think it could be.
And people are going to cheer either way.
They're going to cheer either way.
They're going to cheer. They want Adam to turn on him, but if he gets his ass kicked, MJF's going to be booed. Adam's going to come out of this smelling like roses.
Yeah, and I to that point, it builds the narrative of MJF staying face for the Punk match.
Yeah.
So it would make sense. I still can't get over the Mr. Clean Yosemite Sam comment, and then him impersonating Dax in the middle of that. That was fucking great. But yeah, it's going to depend. I don't know what's going to happen. One of them's going to turn. I know that. I also know it's not the default call Roderick Strong. He's not the default creative wrestler. He's not going to turn on Adam Cole in this whole thing. But man, I don't know who's turning. It'll be a great match, but somebody's going to walk out of. I just have a feeling somebody's going to walk out, or it's going to. I don't know if it'll wait till after the match for the turn to happen.
For you guys today, Collision is a must watch.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Just because of this.
Yep.
There's more to be added and everything, but this is a must watch Collision tonight. All right, we get to Britt and Taya now. Give me my minutes.
Take your minutes.
And I'll let you go. Did you know this was I'm going to read you my notes from fucking Batum, by the way.
Do it.
Did you know that this was the first time this match ever happened?
I figured it was, but
yeah, they said it a million times.
Yep.
I want to call out Busted Open.
Okay.
We're now linked to them on Podurama and IMDb. So now I got the balls. They completely, because I listened to Wednesday is the day that I'm driving and I actually get to listen. They completely shit on this match. Completely shitted on it. Listen, it wasn't a 5-star match. Things have happened, but it was what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't storyline booking, because I understand that. Britt went over. I don't know where we're going with this anymore. I think what we said, Britt is now moving on to whatever.
Yeah.
They said this was stupid. The match sucked. They both didn't know each other. But like, they completely shit on this match. They also called out Excalibur because he did a quick transition to the pitcher-in-pitcher. They said he didn't do it. So I went back and I watched it. He did his normal, we're going to pitcher-in-pitcher. He did it. I don't know why they just shit on this so much. Again, it was not a 5-star match whatsoever. But it wasn't like me and you rolling around like two alligators in the ring. It was a good match.
Yeah.
They absolutely fucking hated this. These are two of your bigger stars having a match. Mm-hmm. They're like, it wasn't booked right. It wasn't booked right. So, as the sign says, book women's wrestling division better. Agreed. Sometimes you can just have a match to have a match. And they said that this match couldn't have been one of those matches. Why?
Yeah.
Why can't I have Tally Blanchard against, I don't know, Pistol Pez Watley just because? And those are two heels, by the way, folks, by the 80s. But why can't you just have a match to have a match, and it maybe brings it back around in 6 months to a year or never? Mm-hmm. You can just have matches. That's essentially what live events are. These are live events just on TV.
Yeah.
I just don't know why, and it was David, LaGreca, and Bully Ray, just saying this was just absolutely horrible. The talent's there. They did give them their comeuppance and everything, but they ripped it apart wrestling wise and just said just absolutely fucking horrible. Why? What Bully? Okay, you Hall of Fame does this as a championship. What does Dave have to shit on this match as much as me and you? Just because he's had a show longer than us and is on Sirius? Did he completely shit on Britt and Taya? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Now we're probably not linked to them anymore. But I agree, the whole division needs booked better. But you can just have a star-studded fucking match to have a star-studded match.
Yeah.
WWE does it all the time.
We'll go on to that point because we mentioned it on during Collision when Taya called out Britt. There didn't need to be a heel. They just needed Taya versus Britt. That's all you needed for Dynamite. That's your booking. You don't fucking worry about it. I will agree with you. Now, I didn't listen to the Busted Open rants, but what I will say is, to me, there's a lot that gets very negatively shit on, no matter what it is in this current days. And I take a lot of, like, I don't want to say offense to it because it's not my position to take offense to it, but it's a lot of negativity that I hear from those older generation guys that know the business more than I do. And I'm not talking just Bully Ray. I'm talking Cornette. I'm talking Vince Russo to an extent. I'm talking Bischoff, where they consistently will shit on products because it's not how they would book them in the olden days, or that's not how things should be booked or how they need to be booked. I get it. There's a certain way you can book shows in wrestling, but your newer audience, as you get into a newer generations of audiences, the tastes change. What you thought made sense and was good back in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s is not good 2021, 2023, and the 2020s. It's the same thing with music. I do like the oldies. I like the Beatles. I love the Beatles, I should say. I love things from the 70s. God damn, I go crazy when Jane comes on every time Orange Cassidy comes out, and that's probably why I love them. But there's newer music that's out there that I don't understand completely, but I know people love it. You know, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, people love that shit. And they have some good stuff that I can get to, but that's fine. I think it's the same thing in wrestling. I think we keep putting this veil of how it was in yesteryear, in the golden era, how it was in the Attitude Era on things versus actually taking it at face value. Yes, to your point, Mark, this was not 5 stars. This was not going to be the thing that derailed FTR Business Bullet Club Gold 2 out of 3 falls. But it didn't need to be that. It needed to be a match on TV to get us where we needed to go in this rivalry. How many times have they done it with Orange Cassidy where they had a match last year early in the international title run and they're revisiting it later in the run and saying, oh, this happened earlier on. This is what happened in 2022, yada, yada, yada. Me or you didn't remember that match happened in 2022. We couldn't remember sometimes what happened earlier this week. You know what I mean? So I think that's the missing link to all of this is there's so much perception or so much talking heads out there that are like, I know the business, this is what it needs to be, da 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 da, that they don't take the time to sit back and say, this is what it is now. Let's enjoy it for what it is at face value. Because I could sit back and say, oh, the Attitude Era did this better than what they're doing here, and blah, 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 blah. If I watch the Attitude Era now, I would say they had more shit wrestling than I've seen actually in the past 10 years combined.
It was entertainment in the Attitude Era.
It was strictly sports entertainment. There were guys that could wrestle and could put on a good match, but it was entertainment value, not wrestling.
Right.
80s wrestling, Bret Hart, the guy, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Hart Foundation, Demolition, things of that nature. That was professional wrestling, and that was fantastic. I know I didn't list Ric Flair and all that shit, but you guys get what I'm saying.
We get it, yeah.
But now we're getting to a point where you have to balance great professional wrestling with great storytelling, with great entertainment. There's a trifecta of balance here that I don't think a lot of people get. And you can say, and yes, we got to book women's wrestling better, but we also have to take things at the face value and say, if this is the first time these two women are touching and getting in a match, there's going to be zero chemistry. There's not a time where it's right off the bat, they're knocking it out of the park. It's not like it's Omega Danielson and it's just completely, that I know that wasn't first time, but it was, holy shit, the first time in 15 fucking years these two have gotten together and gone at it. That's just not feasible. That's not going to happen all the time. So I think people are just too harsh on what the product is because not just but across the board, because they have a perception of what they want to see. And hell, we probably did it on this podcast a number of times. But it boils down to opinions. I get that. But to the talking heads in the business, what you knew in yesteryear is not what translates to now, here and now. No. That's just it. We got the match we got. Shit happened. There was a botch and there was a quick tap out. Whatever. It happens. That's the way it happened. Right, wrong, indifferent. You can do whatever you want with it. But at the end of the day, we have the first match in the books. They can revisit this at another time.
When Britt wins the TBS
title. And now Ty's got all the Valkyries in the world coming after her, and she can go in for the TBS title. Storyline, progression. The first match is not always the best match. Austin Rock, when 97, their first match, nobody remembers. WrestleMania 1 or WrestleMania 15, 17.
1? No,
I know, right? Shit. I threw it out there, right? But WrestleMania 15, 17, and 19, everybody fucking remembers because they had honed their craft by that point, and they knew what they were doing. It takes time.
It does. Thank you. You're on the same page.
I'm 100% on the same page.
I was like, yep. It's just, it happens.
Yeah.
They didn't meet in the Indies. Britt and Rosa, I'm going to throw this out there, met in the Indies on Rise. They met here. Britt's wrestled a lot of Indies. Yep. Brett and Chelsea would rip down a fucking house and that's why I've always pandered that Chelsea would make it over to AEW. We'll get to Chelsea and Matt Cardona in a minute. But just things like that. Okay, so they met for the first time. They're two big names. Give it a fucking break.
Yep.
I could have given a shit about the main event, by the way.
Well, it was thrown together because of from what I saw of Death by Dishonor, the ending of that pay-per-view made absolutely no sense to me. And this match was an extension of that. And look, I said what I said earlier, about 2 minutes ago. I got to come back here. To me, it made absolutely no goddamn sense, but to set up a match between these three teams.
Right. And again, it's to set up more down the line, and I think it's Mox against Orange.
Yeah, I think 100%.
You had 6 guys out there for a match that's going to set up between Mox and Orange. I don't understand it. We're going to get there, though.
Yeah.
Right?
I would assume so.
I'm covering our tracks now for a second.
Well, we're going to get there, but also, well, I don't think we need to cover our tracks because this is how do we get there? It's our speculation is how are we getting there? Honestly, I feel like we're going to get a triple threat 3-man tag match because you threw Death Triangle, 2/3 of Death Triangle in this match. The other third of Death Triangle was in the ROH World title match. Wembley, are we getting Blackpool Combat Club versus Death Triangle versus Best Friends with Orange Cassidy in a 3-on-3 match? There's going to be 9 guys flying around, and then we're going to get BCC, Orange, and Mox, because it's definitely going to be Orange and Mox, I think, at one of the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Mox doesn't attack Orange at the beginning. Orange doesn't come back and attack Mox at the end. And we're not getting Mox versus Beretta and Penta. We're not getting another triple threat next week without it actually going somewhere to include everybody. You know what I mean? So,
to be a talking head, a lot happened this week. And we don't know. But as the marks that we are, I thought these are 2 fantastic fucking shows. And again, that sign from 6 months ago, enjoy wrestling. That's what we do on Can Crushers. We really do. We enjoy wrestling.
And
we'll rip it apart once in a while and be dicks.
Yeah. We sit here, we talked about this, we don't know where this is going, but that's a common theme that we get with AEW in a good way. We don't know where their storylines are going. We like to be surprised, but we're invested in them to see
Very
where they
much so.
go. And that's where the book women's wrestling better comes into play. You guys can do that. We can get to that level with the women's wrestling if you give us the opportunity.
We have nothing to invest in right now.
Exactly. If we're only seeing 1 or 2 females every week out of 6, that doesn't really get us there. I mean, this is starting to feel like, and here it comes, 2015 WWE before we had the whole influx of Sasha, Becky, Charlotte. That's where we're sitting right now. Can we get them over the hump? Get them a women's show, or at least get them 2 segments on your regular show and not give some people 45 because their buddies had an hour last week.
Right.
Get us there.
Get us there.
You're
better. You're better. You have the roster.
You're better, and you know it.
And you have the money to bring in the one that would blow this roster up.
Is that the play, though?
I don't think you need her. I'm not being a dick.
No.
Speaking of Mercedes Moné.
Yeah.
You don't need her.
You don't, but could that be the play?
Are we waiting? Is that...
Exactly. Are we in a waiting game where we have to make it look like it's good, but it's not great, for her to come in and almost be the savior? Are we getting a savior angle? You know, that type of thing that plays into it. Which, what I would say to that, high risk, high reward, because there's sometimes, and I love Mercedes and everything she's done in the ring, but there's times where some things of hers just don't hit.
Right.
So you have to, hopefully it's on point and it happens. Or we could be just shocked and maybe something happens in the next month where 2 of them walk through the door. Who knows?
Yeah. By the way, we're transitioning to WWE here in about 30 fucking seconds. It's Roman and Jay in the ring already on SmackDown, so let's pause.
Roman's got an early flight, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. We'll pause. We'll be back. WWE, because AEW went longer than I thought. Whew! That was a great segment.
We had to talk.
What's up, guys? It is your girl T Gaines here. I don't know what you're doing at the moment, but my advice to you is to pop open a can and slam some suds with the Can Crushers.
Acknowledge your tribal chiefs, Can Crushers. We're back. Segment 3 WWE is up and running.
So I switched beers because I went through the gamut of good beers, essentially. My house. It's replenishment time. So I'm cleaning up. I'm now to the guest beer.
Bailey doesn't like this change. This is terrible change.
This is a horrible change. I went from a strong mango to a luscious peach to, listen, and this is a great beer, but now I'm just on Miller Lite, and now it's just like, maybe I'll just finish the water that I have in front of me as well. It's way too much of a drop-off for me.
You can't do that. You cannot go from 60 miles per hour down to 0 in that
30
quick.
seconds.
Yeah, it's too quick.
But I'm enjoying beer tonight. I really am. By the way, I have a date tomorrow night. Or tonight as you guys are listening to this.
A date?
What's do. Date? It's actually one of the first times in about 6 fucking months that me and my wife don't have anything to do on a Saturday night. We're going to go, the son is going to stay home, maybe be a DD when we need him, and leave our vehicle wherever in the middle of the street. But we're going to go out and have dinner and go to like a couple bars.
Wow.
Legit, this is the first time it's happened in forever. And
oh my God.
I'm smitten to spend time with my wife and just know who she is.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah. So not only am I getting drunk recording this, she'll have to put up with me getting drunk tomorrow night as well. Because I want it. You know what I want? And
What?
she asked me this earlier this week. She's like, where do you want to go today? I'm like, we're just going to stay in town. I'm like, we're not going to. Listen, we'll just go get something to eat in town. There's a couple, 2-3 bars that we don't mind. Well, no clubs. We don't belong to any clubs anymore.
Yeah.
But 2 to 3 bars, we'll just, go socialize. I want an old fashioned tomorrow with dinner.
Ooh, okay. All right.
I haven't had one in a while. It popped in my head. I want to know who makes the best old fashioned in town. What an old fashioned.
You're going to have a competition here when you're out?
No. I mean, I'm having one old fashioned. We're just deciding where we're going to go eat.
The old fashioned. I didn't know if you were going to do each bar you went to. Give me an old fashioned. Let me see what you got.
Probably no recording the rest of the week then. If I would have 3 old fashions, because essentially that's where we're going to go. We're going to 3 places. If I would have 3 old fashions, bad news on Sunday. Bad news on Sunday. I digress. But I'm going to date. I get to date my wife.
That's awesome. Enjoy that. I will be gallivanting across the western half of Pennsylvania all day tomorrow, so I'll be jealous.
With no old fashions.
With no old fashions, no alcohol of whatsoever.
That's why he drank a bottle of coffee wine tonight.
Yeah, it was only 375 milliliters, which is, I'm assuming, 16 ounces, something like that.
Probably.
Yeah. So, good. I would give it 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. So, good wine.
Not bad for a wine, yeah.
It's not bad at all. I want to go to this winery now, since it's local, and I want to see where it's at. So,
nice. As SmackDown's on, we're not going to try to incorporate tonight's SmackDown with what happened Friday night. Because, again, we talked a lot about AEW being good in stories. Well, wrestling was great this week, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I thought SmackDown was just as good as anything else. I really enjoyed SmackDown as we were watching it and editing and everything. The Fatal 4-Way match between Ray and Sheamus and Grimes and LA Knight. I love that they're not giving LA Knight wins. Because he's already money.
They know what they're doing. They are waiting to a big show to give LA Knight his rub. They're not going to give it away on a SmackDown. They're not going to give it away, at one-off pay-per-views. Nah. They're giving it away at a big show, whenever that may be. But you're right. It was a very good night. Yeah, very good night. But, man, does it make you want it even more? Because now I know the flip side of what we're getting. So we know we're getting Rey Mysterio versus Santos sometime tonight with you guys that have been last night. We know what's going to come with that. At least in my opinion, I know there's a turn going to happen at some point. It might not have happened last night for you guys, but it's going to happen in the near future here.
Right.
So it puts a lot of speculation around that and pushes that to, okay, that's coming down the line. So when does LA Knight come into play? I think they do this for at least 3 to 4 more months. I think we're building up for more of a Rumble type situation here than we are anything else. Yeah.
Because we've said this for the 2 years you've been on and many more before then. This is their last big pay-per-view until Rumble.
Yeah.
I don't care if you call the top 4, you still throw Survivor Series in. We've thrown it out.
They've destroyed it for right now.
Yeah.
Until they can bring it back.
So WWE doesn't take a break, so to speak, but you don't get a lot of meat and potatoes until Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe December you start getting the storylines of it, but the matches happen at Rumble.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're going to have stuff to bide the time to get there, like impending LWO turns and all of that stuff, but those are things that are just enough to get you to watch the next week. or get you to watch through the next pay-per-view. It's just these little guys that are getting you more and more to get you to, it's almost like breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs to get you to where they need to get you for Rumble.
Roman probably takes off. Definitely the next one, I would imagine.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's going to be a Payback in Pittsburgh, but stranger things have happened, I guess. But
all right, so Ray wins that. He's going to fight Santos. You guys know what happened already. Charlotte and Io, did you read about what happened? This wasn't supposed to happen.
No, I don't think I read anything about what happened. What happened?
It was supposed to be, if I'm remembering, it was supposed to be Io against Vega. They pulled Vega at the last minute and threw Charlotte in. Nothing against Vega, but Charlotte and Io was a great match, I thought.
Well, yeah, it was a fantastic match. So this was going to be, I'm assuming, an Io victory, so it was put Io over even more than what they had come up, so that's interesting. I was wondering why they would pull that with Charlotte going over on Io when you're trying to build Io up as a legitimate threat to Asuka. Right. So I guess, okay.
Also, though, we have talked about this could be a heist. So maybe you didn't want to give a lot away.
Right.
Io getting the win, and all of that. Bayley was on, and I want to bring this up, and I only want to bring it up for one thing. Bayley was on commentary during this match talking about Shotzi, still giving her shots and everything, about cutting her hair the last week, and shame on us for not mentioning this, because once I found out the logistics and why Shotzi cut her hair, yes. And if you don't know, Shotzi was all in for this hair versus hair cutting of, not that it was hair, but because Shotzi's sister has cancer and she completely wants to be on board. Not the experience, you know what I'm trying to say. I'm 5 years deep, but she wants to show support for her sister. So she was like, I'm shaving my hair. Let's figure out how and why I'm going to shave my hair in a nutshell. So Shotzi doing that. I loved her when she showed up at IWC a couple times. I loved her in NXT. Her WWE main roster run hasn't been fan-fucking-tastic, but she's still, again, now she's back on, for something besides wrestling, she's back on my radar. I'm like, thank you. So.
Yeah. That was awesome. It was an awesome little touch. And I think
Gracie Ass doing it was really cool, too.
Yes, that's where I was going to go, is you play it into the character a little bit more. You seem like you're psychotic, you're breaking, everything's falling apart. This could be very much the shot in the arm Shotzi needed to kind of catapult her forward, and I'm all for it. I'm not that your sister need to do that, but the crazy aspect of it, of just, I need to get rid of that type of aspect, I think speaks volumes and could help her out a lot.
Theory against Santos. Escobar gets the win in a title match. Essentially tells you what's going to happen when he gets the title match.
Well, and to that point, I mean, Theory attacked Ray. So to me, it's the given match is Ray is going to beat Theory, and you guys Ray's going to beat Santos. Honestly, I think he could beat Theory, and then Santos turns on Ray. I think that's the play that's going on right now, and you guys are going to know the results of it, and I could be dead wrong. You can laugh at me next week, or tomorrow morning when this releases, whatever works for you guys. But both. Yeah, I'm used to it. So we'll see where this gives, but I think the Santos thing, it was more of, let's hint that it could happen. Doesn't mean it's actually going to happen, but it gives Santos a mark for later on down the line that even if Austin Theory keeps it, Santos has a play on it and can say, I beat you. Give me my title shot. Yeah.
We get another segment, quick as hell, but we get it, so it's teasing it, with Bob, Carmelo, and Trick. It's going to happen.
I think it's going to happen. I think it's more Carmelo and trick than it is the Street Profits, though.
I do now.
Yeah, I think so. Because why would you go for the younger talent at that point? You know what I mean? It'll be interesting, but
there's the feud with the Street Profits coming.
Yeah.
And then Bob's going to be a heavy one way or the other.
Bob's going to be the heavy. Bob's going to be the leader of whoever he takes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot happened, but a lot happened on SmackDown, essentially. They were longer segments, longer matches. Because when we get to the main event match, which is Dom against Butch, which, listen, I'm fans of Pretty Deadly. I really am. And this match was fucking great until they came out.
But they didn't need to be there.
Exactly. They didn't. He could have beat Butch just with Rhea or whatever.
Yeah.
When they came out, it went from, I'm not saying it was a 5-star match or a 6-pack or anything, but it was a good match, probably a quality 4. And then I'm like, it's a 2.5 because that's the way it ended.
Because you're forcing another storyline into it. I get that the Brawling Brutes and Pretty Deadly don't like each other, and this is where you need to go with it. But same notion.
Do it after the match.
Do it after the match. Don't fucking worry about it. Yeah, exactly. Do it after the match. Don't visit it during. What are you thinking? That type of thing. Yeah.
And then you get the Tribal Combat Showdown face-to-face contract signing. No contract. This is a blood fight. I don't care if I get the title meeting between Jey Uso and Roman. Which was long for me.
Yeah. It wasn't meant to be short in any form or fashion.
Oh, no.
They took a lot of detours to get to the main point, which it's tribal combat, which is basically no DQ, street fight type thing. Okay, let's get there for Solo to somehow win this for Roman. And I think that's what we're going to see.
I know this has been posted, but I'm going to ask you. Did you see the shirts that they had on?
Oh, the Roman and Solo? Yeah, the Solo and I am the one or something. It was the same shirt. It was just saying the different things.
I'm the one, Solo. Wait, who's the one?
When someone's just fancy saying Solo instead of I am the one.
So, yeah, that was SmackDown. Good. Pushed a lot. And it fed towards SummerSlam. Tonight, I'm peaking, but I think it's just going to be more filler.
Mm-hmm.
Because then next Friday will be the go-home show.
Right.
Raw, on the other hand, was not filler. Raw was, oh fuck, we don't have any matches on SummerSlam.
We gotta go 0 to 60 here.
And they did.
They did.
My favorite segment, though, was the first segment. The Judgment Day celebrating Dom, and it was because of the fans. Dom comes back, and they hate on him again, but the fans were so vocal and just hating on him the whole time. He did a good job to get the words out that he got out, but he didn't get everything out that he was supposed to or needed to get out.
He just didn't have the chance. I mean, and I think at this point, I don't think they need to fully script promos for him. Just tell him you have 4 points, get 2 of them out. I don't care which 2, just get 2 out to drive the story home because you're not going to get the opportunity to get any more home.
No.
There's no way.
He is the most hated right now in WWE. I don't care.
Honestly, he might be the most hated in all of wrestling right now.
But love,
yeah. Getting the most visceral reactions out of people. There's no one else right now.
No.
And it's natural. It is natural, just disdain, hate, everything.
I still say the breakup's coming sooner than later, though.
It is.
Between him and Rhea, and then next week we'll make our predictions, by the way. Because there's more to come there. And again, it leads to the end of Raw.
Judgment Day, yeah.
We can link in all of Judgment Day stuff, essentially.
Yeah.
The Sammy Dom match, again, I'll use what Corey Graves said. Against all odds, Dom comes up with the win because of help. It is what it is. That's the only way he's going to win for a while.
Yeah. That's the only way he has to win. I mean, how else are you going to keep the hate coming? I mean, well, Dom, just naturally he's going to get hated on. But to get it even further along, you got to give him shitty wins and get him to pick up these fluke-ass wins because it's just going to add the gas to the fire at that point. And that's what you need right now.
Yeah.
You need to fan the flames and throw the gas on it and let it go. Throw 5 gallons at a time.
Burn.
Let it fucking burn till the end of time. Because at some point, the hate... I'm going to say this now. Could regret it in 10, 15 years, or I won't. The fucking hate that Dom's getting now will be love and adoration in 10 to 15 years because it's going to be, I'm not saying it's a John Cena effect, but it kind of is the John Cena effect of we hate you, we hate you, we hate you, we hate you, we hate you. You're gone for 3 months. Oh my God, we love you and we didn't know what we were missing type thing.
Right?
It's that kind of hatred. You take it, we're hating, we love to.
Dom.
I didn't think so either. We love to hate the kid. But when you take it away from us, we're going to be sad. And then when we get it back, we're going to love it again and we're going to hate him.
When he returns at number 23 in a Rumble.
Yeah. It's, again, to your point, 2 years ago, this would have never been a fucking thing. Never would have guessed it.
Priest destroys Apollo Crews. Cool. He had a match.
Glad we got to see Apollo. Glad Priest got his comeuppance, I guess, or got what he needed to over.
And then Finn and Seth contract signing. Listen, I'm not saying this mean, but it was a contract signing with one person against a faction.
Yeah.
You knew what was going to happen.
They were going to come out. They were going to infiltrate. You'll have one person, 2 people come out, try to protect them, especially with KO on the show. You're only going to get Sammy. So.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Broken rib. Real life injury that he's working through. Broken ribs are, I don't know, I've never had one. Probably 6 to 8 weeks, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's a few weeks. I mean, my sister just had one, and it was a couple months before she fully got over it. So, and she's not a full-on athlete either. It was 3 weeks before she could work out. Then it was still like a couple months where it's till you can get back to normal strength because that's a very tender area in that aspect. It's hard to breathe. KO's not going to be taking any bumps for at least 6 to 8 weeks.
So what are we doing with the tag titles?
I guess they're just sitting pretty on KO and Sammy. Can't do much with them, right? I mean,
I don't want to be the guy that says strip them and then put them on who as well.
That's exactly it. Who's your guy? Who you can put them on? Judgment Day? I guess that's great, but they're breaking up.
6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, they could be gone in 6 to 8 weeks.
Pretty Deadly, the Street Profits, Alpha Academy, the Vikings, they're not built up.
Do you take the time to break them apart, or do they kind of just leave them in the ethos right now until after SummerSlam and say, okay, guys, we have to break up the titles and we have to, you get one, disperse them, and just do it that way?
Not saying that an injury is good at all.
No, it's not.
We're not. But it's a great way to break them up, finally.
It is, because you can say, listen, you guys are unable to defend them right now. We have to strip you of the titles. And while we're at it, Raw gets one, SmackDown gets one, and everybody goes on their way. And I'm going to guess it's not going to be called the Raw titles and the SmackDown tag titles. It's going to be the World Tag Team titles and maybe the WWE tag team titles, because
that's where they're going there.
They've already done it with the men's. They've already done it with the women's. It's only natural that they're going to do it with the tag titles. Unify everything, have it uniform, except for the mid card, which is the Intercontinental and the U.S. title. Leave those be, but everything is uniformed on the brands to kind of, I think, actually elevate it a little bit more.
It does.
In stature.
Yeah. I think it really does. You're right. Becky and Zoe was a great match. I will throw this out there. Becky and Zoe was a great match. I actually love the ending because I thought we were going to get – everybody knows prior to the match on Raw that we're going to get Becky and Trish at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was going to be one more tease of something. I didn't expect Becky to win that night. I thought we were going to get next week. But now they can have a face-to-face, or we're getting too many face-to-faces across the board, though.
We're going to get a contract signing. That's what we're going to get. I think they had to force it to happen this week instead of doing the tease, because I think they realized they ran out of time to do more with it. I honestly think a lot of things have happened is they forget where they're at in the schedule, and then all of a sudden it's fucking 2 weeks out, and you're like, oh shit, we got to book everything under the sun and get us to SummerSlam. Because I think right now for SummerSlam, we have Tribal Combat, we have Trish and Becky, Drew and Brock and Cody, and Drew and Gunther. That's what we know.
And because of the next two promos.
Because Ronda, that's right. Yep.
We don't have the women's tag titles being defended, which I would doubt that they will be.
They're not, because Liv has the elbow injury now, that from what I've seen.
And Raquel's gone.
Oh, sorry. And then, so they're not going to have defend. Kelsey and Sonya are not going to defend against some two random people.
Right.
Out of nowhere.
Because there's no other
tag team to do it. And we don't even know who Rhea's going to face at SummerSlam, because I'm pretty sure it was going to be Liv, but she's down and out now.
I think she came back early.
She probably came back too early, and then...
Yeah. To transition... Well, essentially, to get the titles off of Ronda and Sonya, Shayna, Jesus, to get the titles off of them,
mm-hmm.
and then to lose them. So, because Ronda's got hard out, and I believe it's SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So, Ronda's going to be gone. Shayna does what her thing is going to be moving forward. So, now Liv goes back on the IL to actually heal what was hurt prior. And you had to take Raquel out from saving her last week with the knee injury last week. Do we get Raquel making a return this Monday to call out Ripley to defend the title? It would be a shame if Ripley doesn't defend the title at SummerSlam. But we can't have, again, I'm covering my tracks so much this week. We can't have Dana Brooke or Nat come in, or me or you, or like, if she's not defending against Raquel, don't defend.
Yeah.
It's a shame she's not defending, but if she doesn't, don't defend, because it'll look worse.
Yeah, because it'll be squash. It'll be like Natalya and Rhea from Night of Champions, where it was 30 seconds and game over and we're done.
Right.
Yeah. They can't do that. It won't do the title justice. It'll do more harm than good in that regard.
Yeah. And Rhea. Not only the title, and Rhea, I think.
Yep.
Cody's out talking about Brock beating him up in front of his mom. These stories. All right, I might be slow. Each opponent has something to do with his dad. I finally fucking caught on to this. The return to go against Roman was after Dusty was on the shelf, tried to get Flair, didn't have enough momentum, has to rebuild himself. Now he's got to go against a beast. Maybe Nikita Koloff, so to speak. All right, say that. So that's Brock Lesnar. There's a return rumored to be happening at SummerSlam to carry Cody to maybe Mania, maybe the Rumble again, where that's where he wins the Rumble again or something like that to get the Roman again at WrestleMania 40. Rumor is Bray comes out after the match. He decimates Cody.
The rumor, it's one of the 3 main events. It's not going to be Roman. It's definitely not going to be Finn and Seth. I feel like they have treaded that water way too many times. Cody's the only likely one, and they're sure as hell not putting him against Brock. So what better way for you to fall on hard times than wrestle an actual beast and then wrestle with your mind, because you know there will be mind games played in that regard. So it would make all the sense in the world, Cody versus Bray, coming out of that.
Excited, but maybe excited more for the promos and the entertainment part of it. Yeah. I don't know if I'm excited to see Bray right now in the ring. And it's because the last couple times Bray hasn't done much in the ring. And WWE drops the ball on the poor fucker.
Well, and there's a lot of things that come into that when they drop the ball on the poor fucker. And it's just one guy in particular kind of throws everything into a monkey wrench. And somehow, some way, when the big match comes up for Bray, he gets injured. And then we have to go down that road and get it healed, which is fine. People get injured all the time. But it starts to get to a point where how do we get the momentum to keep going for Bray? People are going to pop when he comes out as whatever he is, whatever
we don't know
is.
What Bray we're getting.
Yeah, we don't. We don't know if we're getting a Fiend. We don't know if we're getting Bray and Uncle Howdy. We don't know what we're doing. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to people are going to be entertained, at least from the promos. The wrestling-wise is the come, and he needs that special opponent to bring it out of him. So maybe Cody can do that to kind of get the hype and protect him at the same time. We'll have to see. We'll have to find out and see.
Damn.
Marcus
but by the way, there may be a concussion, and it may be a real-life concussion. But we'll get to that next week. Match.
So far ahead of me. I hate it.
Match of the night. Bronson and Ciampa. Again until the fucking end. There's got to be a time that you just know that it's bringing down the house. Scrap whatever you're doing in match and do it after the match.
Yeah.
Just a little distraction by Shinsuke, and I'm like, well, match is over. As soon as he came out, I'm like, match is over. I understand it could mean it's continuing a storyline, whatever. But I think it could have been more.
Yeah.
This was a great match.
Oh, it was fantastic, but it just, to your point, it just kind of throws a monkey wrench into everything when you force the storyline in the match. I don't understand all this interrupting a match. Just let them get through the match, let them fight it out, and then regroup it. Come back to it at a later date and time, or just let them do it afterwards. It just baffles my mind why they kind of force it in the matches, and there's so many disqualifications. There's so many no contests. This wasn't one of them. But it was a distraction nonetheless that happens far too often, and it makes people think, why don't you just ignore them? They can't touch you during the match. It doesn't fucking matter.
I'm disappointed the way that ended. So we get Liv against Ripley, and as we said, Liv gets decimated, and she's going to be off TV for a while.
Yeah.
And now did you catch up yet?
So, my TV was back a lot. It was doing a lot of buffering. So it caught itself up, but now it's just after the whole match. So I didn't see any of that. So I'll have to find the clip to watch it now.
Okay.
But they're definitely not showing the ring. So it definitely was something.
Yeah. Alpha Academy wanting an Academy match, whatever. But we get Maxine challenging Valhalla. I'm excited for this because is she going to be, and you know how much I hold Carmella up on a pedestal. Is she going to be a Carmella player? It maybe, she's maybe not always around a title, but she can do stuff, or is she just one and done and then she's history?
I'm wondering if we're getting a more of, is it to see what she can do versus let her just be a manager and let her do her own thing? Can she grow into a superstar that they can say Alpha Academy grew her from not knowing anything to 5 years down the line, she's in a title shot and has a legitimate shot at taking the title? Or in WWE storylines, 1.5 years, something like that.
Right.
Things get accelerated, but it's that 0 to 60 mentality. I keep saying 0 to 60. I apologize, guys. But it's that mentality of, I think they're trying to figure out, is there the passion there, or is there that piece that she can keep learning and she keeps growing in the role so that they can build something off of? And Chad Gable can truly say, I built Maxine from this. I did this. This was all me. I built her up to what she is now.
We have to stop watching because something's happening that I'm pissed off about now. Then we get essentially, we talked about the main event. We talked about Ronda talking. Then we get Drew having another fucking face-to-face this week with Gunther. We do get a match between Drew and Kaiser.
You knew where it was going.
He got mugged. Riddle came out and got mugged. Whatever. But the match is set essentially for SummerSlam. Drew against Gunther. And I think it happens. This is going to be the one that I'll spoil right now. I think it happens. But Gunther only goes after taking the loss, goes above and beyond Drew in this match.
I think it's their way to catapult Gunther into the next level. They have to get the title off of him to get him to start flirting around with Seth and in there. This is the way to do it. If you're not going to put Drew at that upper level and challenge Seth, Gunther is your step up. Because right now, listen, Finn's there, but Finn isn't that main event player. He's not that guy. So Gunther's your next level up. It's a plot device between those two, between Judgment Day with that Money in the Bank briefcase, Damian and Finn. There's a plot device there. But I think Gunther is the actual legitimate next challenger that could take it off of Seth, even before we get to Rumble time.
Agreed. And we'll make our predictions next week.
Yep.
And I know I teased one thing about Chelsea and Cardona. Did you see?
Oh my God, yes.
Cardona shows up
in Japan.
In Japan, yeah. I don't even remember what show it was. It wasn't. Was it the Stars of G1 or whatever? But it was
something. It was like DDT or something like that. But showed up women's tag team title around his waist.
Right. People lost their mind.
Oh yeah.
That he had that on. The next day on TikTok, before Cardona got home, Chelsea's like, I have mine right here. Because she knows. I would imagine she knows.
Yeah.
If that was the real title,
it would have.
She's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Still, could there be ramifications? I don't know. As we're watching, it's Charlotte and Bianca against the tag titles, I think, tonight. Do not do that, do you? Going into no, I don't think so either.
I don't think so. I think it's a plot device. It's the plot. Yeah. God, I keep saying plot device too tonight. Jesus Christ! But it's a plot. You got to further along,
right?
Bianca and Charlotte, and how perfect would it to give Sonya and Chelsea a win over Charlotte and Bianca? Even by hook or by crook.
No matter how they win, it's in 25 years, we're going to look back and say, Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville defeated Bianca and Charlotte on July 28th.
And we're never going to hear the end of it for this entire title reign.
Right.
That's the only thing they're going to talk about.
This is going to be the best. This is horrible to say. This is going to be the best team they beat.
Oh yeah, 100%. And again, not built up.
Unless you're bringing back Bayley and Sasha, don't fucking talk to me.
Yeah, there's no, by accolades alone, this is the best team that they're going to beat.
Right. They're going to lose when they lose. It's going to be a lesser quality team.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're bringing back Leilani Kai and Junie Barton or the Jumping Bomb Angels or somebody like that, I don't know. Because where has Dawn and Fire been? They unify the titles?
They fell off the face of the earth.
See ya. There's not another team for them. There's not another team for them to defend against.
No, not right now. 100%. I mean, not even Damage Control, which is Bayley and Io. We don't know when Dakota's coming back. There's nothing there. There's just nothing.
Horrible. I'll ruin this. We talked about how this SmackDown was going to be filler. Hit Row's on TV right now. I digress.
I don't see it. I haven't seen it yet. I will say this. I bet by the end of that segment, LA Knight's on the screen. They do what they do by what they did a couple weeks ago off screen. They put it on screen for everybody to see.
You're completely right. That's exactly who came out right after they got done bantering.
Figured.
Yeah.
Copy paste from 2 weeks ago in the dark.
Yep.
In the dark. Yep.
That's our show.
Hell of a show.
I have nothing else.
I got nothing. We went long on we said it was a good week for wrestling, and we showed it. We were fully invested, hook, line, and sinker in everything that came out.
Yeah.
This week. And this is what happened when you have quality shows. You give us a lot to talk about. We're invested. We're fully invested in it, and this is the outcome of it. And I love every minute of it.
I do too. Because we, again, for the last couple of weeks, we have not been ripping matches apart.
Mm-hmm.
Like talking about each and every one. We give highlights. This was, we had to talk about every match. Something meant something in every match this week.
Yep. It's a rarity.
I'm going to 2 baseball games this week. What are you doing?
You're going to 2 baseball games this week? Oh, yeah, you're going to the Pirates, Tigers. Yeah. This week for me, let's see. Oh, I'm going to 1 at least. Going to Seawolf City. This work is doing a whole activity there, so it's an afternoon game, so I'm going there.
What day is that?
Wednesday. It's a Wednesday game. Wednesday afternoon game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I'll be at Seawolf City, and I'm trying to think what else is going on. Oh, at some point this week, I'm going to be watching. Because next week. Next week SummerSlam. So I'll also be watching Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which I've been putting off till it got on Disney Plus with the lady friend. So
how are you going to squeeze that in?
Watch Guardians in the afternoon, SummerSlam at night. I think would be the best way to do that.
Is she watching SummerSlam with you?
Potentially. We'll see what happens. We got a lot of moving and shaking going on. So
I love when she watches wrestling with you because you bring another aspect, hers too, as well. Because you will break down, but you're like, and then Kimberly said,
this guy wore a fucking jackass outfit.
Yeah, his shoes looked horrible.
Her reaction to Seth freaking Rollins have always stuck with me in that WrestleMania outfit. So more to come. We'll see what happens next week with that. But that's my week next week. It's nothing too crazy, too fun, too exciting. It's got baseball on Wednesday, SummerSlam at the end of the week. That's about it. So that's my week.
But we'll wrap up next week. We'll have our predictions. 6-pack on the line because it's a big show. Super excited for it.
Coming for you. Can't wait for us to pick every single match the same.
WWE ones we really do. People have called us out on those.
I know, and I'll tell you what, I'll differ on one. I will make sure to differ on one at least. Because I did that for Night of Champions too. It burned me, but I did it. So we'll see if I pivot during the show next week.
Pivot.
By
the way, it was a quick match between LA Knight and
LA Knight. Yeah.
Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
A garbage can, not a garbage cannot. Make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them.
Because you never know.
Whoop whoop.